No, but gender identity, because there's different parts of a person's like identity or personality or different
So
things
how is
like
it?
that.
So how is it so different from gender then?
Because gender identity literally develops in your brain.
Hold on, my phone's dirty.
Yeah. What part of gender identity is a product of your environment?
Because, like I said, if this was
Or are
not
you saying
if this
that
was
being
not prompted,
trans? I missed the beginning of what you said.
Yes.
yes,
Being
I don't
Okay.
disagree
So
about
you're
everything
trying to
else.
say that being trans is a social contagion?
I'm saying that if a 7-year-old would not know what a trans person is, would not have any idea that they are trans if they were not presented with this
I
otherwise.
agree with you, but do you think 7-year-olds are just going up to their parents and saying, "Hey, I'm trans"?
Of course not, because
Right.
otherwise,
Because they don't have
unless
the language for that.
well, that you're missing my point here. The they are being introduced this, and now they are
No,
saying,
they're
"I am."
not. That's the point. No, they're not.
See, they are. Otherwise, they
By
would
who?
not know that they are, or they're not.
They can still recognize that they have an incongruence between their gender and sex.
I think you're overestimating what a 7-year-old knows. I don't think
I
a
think
7-year-old
you're
knows
No.
what the word
underestimating
incongruent
what a 7-year-old knows.
means.
So who's introducing this to them?
Everything that they see, their schools, social media, parents, whoever. I mean, this is if I can see this as
7-year-olds
somebody
are
who
on
just very
social
much does not
media?
support this group of individuals, I promise you that a 7-year-old who has a phone can absolutely figure this out and can
What's
find this.
set? If a 7-year-old has a phone and it's not being monitored and they're on social media, that's pretty scary to me. Because my
Well,
my
I
kids
best
didn't have
believe that there's
any
plenty.
For
access to
different
social
reasons.
media until they were 14. Like by my, like that's just crazy. And
And
if a
what's your
And I
7-year-old
explanation,
needs a
completely
Pete?
agree with you
phone,
that it's crazy, but it happens
Okay, Pete, I
often.
know you're really young. I know you're really young. But like 10, 15 years ago when kids did not have cell phones, what's your explanation for all the trans kids then?
What trans kids?
Yeah,
There
exactly.
were there was there has been a huge uptick of
No,
trans
it
people
hasn't
in the
been.
last 10
there's
years.
There really
there's
hasn't
not.
been.
No, you're just aware of it. We weren't aware of it before because there was no social media. I started seeking gender affirming care for my kid almost 10 years ago.
You
There
see,
it was
that's
nowhere to be
exactly my
found.
point right there. Your kid would not have known about that otherwise if you did not seek that out for them.
No, my kid had an incongruence, right, and was able to recognize that their gender had developed different than that of other females, right? So I sought out professional advice and help. And that's when I learned what all of this was about. His gender identity forming the way it did had nothing to do with knowing about trans people. This is just how kids develop. This is why I'm very curious that you took a psychology class on adolescence, but you don't know the basics of child development or like how the brain is developed. So that's why I'm really confused.
Here's a question for you on exactly you. I don't know if you had a son or a daughter or
She
what it
My
literally
was.
just
son,
told you. Literally just told you.
my
Was it a
son.
s I either didn't hear or it skipped over. So I'm not being rude. I'm just saying that I didn't know.
So my
Uh-huh.
Um,
son.
okay, so your son, you said that you sought out gender affirming care for your son
Hmm.
after he displayed to you that he had an incongruence with his gender and his sex. But how did he know that before you prompted him with the question? I'm just asking.
he didn't.
And she
Oh,
didn't
He
even
just
I'm sorry.
prompt him with a question. She didn't even prompt him with a question.
No.
Yeah.
The the cis
What do you think the
person.
first step of gender affirming care is?
I have no idea. Enlighten me.
Therapy. So I sought out a therapist for my kid. That's fucking radical, right? A therapist.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
That's it. And then so he worked with a therapist over the next few years
So
about things that were giving him a huge amount of stress that were interfering with his daily life. And it all related back to his gender identity.
And how old was your son when this took place?
I mean, therapy started, I think, around 8.
So you had a child in therapy at 8 years old.
8 or 9, something like that.
People
So
have
do you
children in
now? I mean, obviously, I agree with therapy because I studied psychology in college, and I think it's a great thing. However, do you not think that there's detrimental effects mentally that it can have on a person going into therapy as early as 8? Thinking that
What?
As in terms of what?
seeking out therapy in terms of
Yeah, so what about therapy would be detrimental to a child at any age?
at the age of 8, seeing a therapist, I don't believe would have the positive impacts that
I don't
people
believe you
think that it
took
has.
fucking
Why?
psychology, or you didn't pay
Yeah,
I
this
attention,
is
don't
wild.
either.
or you didn't pay
So
attention. Like what?
ima imagine that there are age-appropriate treatment modalities for children, depending on
Well,
their age and what the exact issue is or reason that they're in therapy.
so we went from kids just being kids to quite literally
Those
they
kids
have a
are still
problem and now they have to go out and seek therapy.
So,
trans
Pete,
kids.
what would happen if your young child was SA'd by somebody? Would you not take them to therapy because they're too young for therapy?
I don't believe a child really cannot grasp the idea of what therapy is. No.
They don't need to, because it turns out that the professionals have grasped the idea of what therapy is and they know how to help the child work through the trauma they've experienced.
Sure, if you want to go as extreme as SAing, absolutely. But if you're
That's not
talking about
extreme, it's
something as
reality.
What do you mean if you want to go as extreme?
that is an extreme circumstance, is it not?
It literally happens to
I'm
children.
not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not denying that it does not happen, but that is an
Right, but
extreme
you're
case.
saying that there's no positive benefit for therapy for a young child, and
What
I'm
if a
giving you a
child, I mean, there's lots of situations. What if a child lost a parent or a sibling and they're young?
Right. What if an
Sure.
8 or 9 year old is having panic attacks and like getting lightheaded, right? And
Then you see a
having physical
doctor.
symptoms. Right. And then you go to the doctor, they do a complete workup and they say there
Oh,
is no like nothing physical going on. You need to go see a therapist.
wow. Panic attack parental failure? That is
Oh yeah,
wild. Whoever the
that's
fuck
funny.
just said that.
I love all these people who think parents have their kids on strings like puppets and they can just control everything they think, feel, and do. That's amazing to me.
Hmm.
If your kid has panic attacks, I can't even. Okay, so anyway, can you see now how therapy can be beneficial to some children, P? Or
Absolutely, and I'm not saying that it does. I'm not sitting here negating the fact that.
kind of were. You kind of
Well,
were.
no. I'm negating the fact that for certain things that children don't need to be put in therapy for. Like yes, if you want to go as extreme as losing a parent or getting essayed or anything that requires,
So what
you
about
know,
the example that the sis just gave you?
which was the
Panic
gender.
attacks, anxiety, stomach aches, and
Now,
the
I'm
doctor
not.
said there's nothing physically wrong with the child.
Now, in some certain case scenarios, that could be the right case scenario, but I'm not saying that's a one all be all.
Nothing that we are saying here is a one all be all. No, it's very
Right, but this
individualized
this
care.
stems back to the original point that we were making, saying that my child needs gender affirming care. The first step into doing that is throwing them into therapy. So
Throwing them
what
into
is that going
therapy,
to
making
do
it
to them?
sound like it's some kind of negative thing.
You
Why do you
see,
think that's a
here's the thing.
negative?
I'm really
Why,
not.
hold on.
I think therapy is a great thing,
So why
Okay,
would
but
okay,
you use
great.
the word
Yeah,
throwing them into
yeah,
it?
exactly.
because
The
I'm
word you're
using the
using is
words
very
throwing them
telling.
into it because they are 7 to 8 years old.
Great. Can you show me any citations at all that demonstrate that therapy is dangerous or harmful for children at a certain age? Can you show me something that backs that up, please?
I didn't come in with any sources or
I
any.
know, I know. Yes, it's your feelings. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about your feelings, not reality. There are
So
no
do
sources.
you think it's logical to throw in an 8-year-old
It's
into
not throwing.
therapy for something that they
It's
don't
not
really
throwing.
need
And
therapy for?
are you working in this field? Did I hear that right?
I don't
Did
think
you hear what
so,
right?
but
Are you
I
are,
don't
if he is, I will
believe
be
you.
shocked.
are you in
Nailed
the
it.
field of therapy?
Did I say that I was?
No, I asked that. I thought I caught something that earlier. I
You
wasn't
did.
sure.
Well, you misheard because I did not say that.
That's why I asked the question. You see how that works? I ask a question, you answer it. Thank you. I appreciate the information.
I
Great.
need to be
So,
nasty.
oh no, if I was being nasty, I'd say, hey, maybe someone who has a video saying about they didn't know if they passed a neurology class should be able to spell the word neurology in the post. But that's another story. I'm just saying that basic things, work with that. So, is there anything that demonstrates that therapy is harmful to a child at a specific age?
And like I said about 30 seconds ago, I did not come in here with any
Maybe stop
news
saying
or any
that. Maybe
articles.
stop saying that then,
Wait,
like
so
throwing
the
a
answer
child
is
into
no.
therapy as some kind of negative thing.
Yeah, what makes you think that a child being in therapy for any reason would have a negative effect? Those feelings and thoughts are coming from somewhere. So can you tell me what makes you think that?
Sure. So I believe that throwing, or excuse me, not throwing, but placing a child into therapy for things that probably wouldn't warrant therapy,
Like
is
what?
like anything that would not warrant therapy.
What warrants therapy?
Yeah.
That's a great question. Trauma, mental trauma, physical trauma, anything that's
What does not warrant therapy?
things as minuscule as
Minuscule.
let's see, Mom, I don't feel like I'm this today, or I don't feel like
Great.
I'm
That's
that
not
today.
minuscule, dude. Like that was fucking
As
bullshit.
I think as a coming from a 7-year-old, it is because a lot of 7-year-olds like doing a lot of
It's
things. A lot
not
of
because
7-year-old boys
it can
love
have
playing
those
dress up,
physical.
and they love playing with Barbies. Does that mean that
Yeah.
they
No,
should
No.
it
be
doesn't. It doesn't.
No.
exactly? You're
Not.
exactly right. So that's not a
Well,
reason.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad because I also, I at that age, I loved playing with Barbies.
You
And
guys.
Of
furthermore, I wasn't
course.
trans. Yeah, I wasn't trans. I was a gay child, but there's also cisgender children. Because another boy my age who was cisgender and heterosexual also liked playing with them because they were just a fucking doll.
I mean, P, can you point to anything that like you're making this claim like therapy is dangerous somehow? Like, can you like explain that? How playing with a professional is dangerous for a child?
What with a professional?
Okay, well, you don't take a 7-year-old into
Play
therapy, right? Where they sit your kid down on a couch and like get out their tablet and like say, okay, so start from the beginning. Tell me what's bringing on these panic attacks, right? It's not. It doesn't go like that, right? If you have a 7-year-old, you're going to be giving them treatments based on where they are at their age, right? So what would be harmful about that?
It's see, to me, it's teaching kids that at a certain age that if there's anything minuscule going on in your life, you can just run to
Oh, that's so cool. No one's asking you. We're talking about professionals, not you. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you did
so
ask me actually.
Pete, do you
That
realize
was the
that
question posed. If that
this
like that's how you said earlier how
No, but
questions
it's not
work.
about your feelings, though. That's what I'm saying.
downplaying everything that a child may
It's
go
so
through.
minuscule.
this
What's minuscule?
narrative
Because
this
you're under the assumption that kids know all of these things. Kids don't know all of
You
these
think that
things. You're
kids are
giving kids a lot
stupid for
more
some
credit than what
reason.
they're.
You think the kids are stupid for some reason.
No, I think kids don't have a lot of awareness about life.
I
And
think
that it's
people that
people
can't
like
spell
this
neurology have
They
to
do.
teach
teach them
neurology
certain
class.
things
Actually
that
do.
actually warrant them to go to therapy for.
I really
Pete,
think
do
you
you
need to redo your
realize
classes. Please go to
yeah,
a
do you
different school and redo your classes. I'm fucking confused.
Yeah, it
this
didn't work out well.
narrative oh my
Or
god.
did you just not pass them? Like you took them and you quit? You dropped
Did you
out?
drop?
No,
This
graduated.
narrative that you're pushing that this is why there is a stigma around therapy in this country because of this narrative that you're pushing right now that it is harmful or negative to be in therapy.
P, have you ever gone to therapy?
I
I
love that
have.
people are saying that we're
You have?
bullying P.
I
Was it a
have.
horrible experience for you?
Of course not. But you know how old I was when I went to therapy?
I don't care. Doesn't matter.
Right. The
Your age does
therapy
not
you would have
matter for
gotten
them.
then would have
Oh,
been
it
different than the
does.
therapy you would have got at 6.
What? Excuse me?
I'm assuming it was recent, right? Because you're against children going to therapy for some reason.
I mean, I was a late teenager, but yeah.
Okay, so you realize the therapy would have been different if you had been 6 years old, correct?
I'm assuming so.
Right. So what's
It
the
is.
issue?
It quite literally is. So the treatment modalities that are used for adults, adolescents, teenagers, kids are all different. There's different ways to allow people to tell their story, and with children, it's much different than an adult because the cognitive ability and skills that children have versus adults is far different.
Did you get that?
This may be the first time we've ever had anybody argue against therapy.
See,
I
but
kind of
again, you're
argued
missing the
before
point
with
because
someone.
obviously, if you were
Fucking
listening, I'm
This
not
young
against
though?
therapy.
I know.
So if
Usually
you
they're like, oh, therapy's fine, but nothing else. But now they're like, nah.
So
There's
if you have a child who is just having a hard time navigating the world as they see it and live in it, and they are not really having the best coping skills with different things, maybe they're over anxious about things that they shouldn't be. You find it harmful to have a therapist work through that with them and teach them coping skills?
Well, it depends
Just
on what they're going
because
through.
it doesn't, though. That's what you're not
Why?
understanding. So there are adults that don't have good coping skills for this very reason because
Yeah,
they
I
were
heard
never
people
taught.
as a kid.
Okay, so there are plenty of adults with really poor interpersonal skills. Should they have gone to therapy?
Say that again?
I said there are still adults with very poor communication and interpersonal skills.
Yeah, why not? That might help them to learn better communication skills, learn more about themselves as humans, to pick apart the things that are making it difficult for them to communicate, and learn coping mechanisms for the things in their life that they're having a hard time coping with. Tell me where the negative is.
insert awkward silence here.
What is the negative?
Like I said, I'm not downplaying therapy as a whole, but there are certain things.
That's cute.
You
Can you answer
literally
the
are.
question?
Dude,
because you keep
Jesus
saying
Christ.
there are certain
Answer the
things.
question, Peyton. Answer the question.
So
Answer the question.
annoying.
You're running from the question. What is the negative?
Actually, I have a different
negative
question, if
isn't-
that's all right, Bish.
Sure.
I want to know, what was your negative experience with therapy that makes you have this opinion? Because
see,
something
this is-
happened.
See, this is a great point that I'd like to bring up, that there was no negative experience with therapy. But I was again almost I was almost a full adult by the time I went to therapy.
Your age does not matter.
Oh, dude, Jesus Christ.
I know Jesus Christ is not available right now, so I'll have to talk to you instead.
Well, I would not put it past you that you do not believe in that. So
Yeah, I believe in therapy.
doesn't really
I
surprise
believe in
me.
therapists. They're real. Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Sorry, that was funny. That was funny.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you haven't demonstrated a negative. You've painted therapy as some horrible thing that you have to be a certain age to get, and there's no reason for that. Could we listen to Peyton, or should we listen to actual medical and psychiatric professionals who follow the proper course of treatment for whatever it might be?
Well, I don't know if
But
you
Peyton
noticed,
took
but
2
none of them
psychology
would
courses,
give
so
this the time of day.
listen to
So
him.
that's why I'm here.
Well, he didn't know he passed
None
it all.
of-
He spelled it wrong. But here
Wait,
we
none
are.
of who would give what the time of day?
Psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists.
Who
Wouldn't
not
give
give
what
you
the time of day?
No, he was I don't, whatever your name is, the Bish, whatever,
Bish.
was saying that
Words of wisdom.
that you listen to psychologists, and I completely would endorse that. I'm not saying here that I know everything. I'm giving my opinion on this. That's why this is a debate. I'm not
They
saying
wouldn't
that I know
endorse what,
everything,
though?
or
I'm
Yeah,
But-
debates are based on fact, not opinions. We're not talking about your opinion.
Literally, and this isn't even a debate. Like, we're trying to have a conversation with you that apparently you can't even manage to engage.
Right,
in.
and I don't know if there was any noticeable
Therapy.
points being made on your end, but there was nothing to back up what you guys are saying either.
The irony
What
of
you guys are saying is just as credible as what I'm
the
saying.
irony of you pivoting and running again when you can't give a negative, you can't say why your stance is that it's damaging or harmful to kids. You have no stance about that, but you're going to say we're not backing things up, and we're backing things up with actual therapists, the American Medical Association, the American Psychiatric Association. We can give you all kinds of details. We can talk about specific diagnoses for specific conditions, and you're saying that we're not backing anything up. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm still trying to understand what he was saying. Therapists won't entertain.
Mm-hmm.
I know, it doesn't seem, and then he just goes on like, you guys aren't making any points. Like, what? You're not making any points.
I know. I'm still waiting for his point.
Give me some notice, and I'll get to WD-40 to help that pivot be smoother next time.
I missed a spot, like in my hair. No, I didn't.
No, it looks good. I like that color.
Joey, I'm in a relationship. We can't date Joey. It has to be a secret. Shh, quiet. He's asking.
So are we? What's up, P? Therapy. So you don't think kids should go to therapy?
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay, cool.
You
Well, we
don't
agree. Kids. So
trans
yes.
kids should go to therapy.
So then you agree. Trans kids should go to therapy. Yes.
No, I don't.
Oh, so
But
you-
that,
so
again,
okay, you did
that's
say
my
that.
opinion.
So, yeah, that's not your thing.
But yes, should kids go to therapy for like assault, things like that, things as severe as that? Yes.
Things that you think are okay.
So gender
So things
dysphoria is
that, so
not.
do you
not good
disagree
enough?
with me that
Nah.
kids not go to therapy for that?
Nah. Why not?
I think kids should go to therapy for anything that can help make them a better person that seems right. You know what I mean? If anything can make you a better person and help you, no matter what's going on in your life, that's something giving you a hard time, that it can help you have a different perspective, absolutely go to therapy for that. No matter what it is that will help you be a better person. Yeah.
Yeah, and somebody, they're saying if your kid doesn't have great coping skills or is having anxiety, just parent them. Guess what? We just established that some adults don't have those coping skills, so how on earth are they going to teach their kids those coping skills? And coping skills for adults look very different than coping skills for kids, turns out.
And part of parenting is actually getting your child the help that they need when you cannot provide it for them. Like, what is this whole thing like, oh, you're just not being a parent? Like, if you can't do everything yourself, that doesn't mean that you're not a good parent. Like, you can.
Mel,
there's a
we've
reason why
been
they're
indoctrinating our
professionals.
kids. We made them trans. We're doing all the fucking work. I mean, come on.
Not true. What am I thinking?
I know.
So, Pete, like, are you done with this conversation? We haven't moved anywhere here.
Yeah, we can be done with this conversation. I think the premise of this conversation was revolving around your prompts initially, and it stemmed into this.
This is part
Because
of.
you're against trans kids going to therapy, right?
Yeah.
Is it because if trans kids access therapy, it's possible they could get a diagnosis of gender dysphoria, and then after that possibly be recommended for medication?
What's
Is that why?
And no, that really wasn't a thought. But
Right.
at what age do you think that would be recommended if you could give your child that kind of
Medical
whatever,
treatments?
yeah, whatever medical treatment that would look like?
Puberty blockers start at Tanner stage 2. So it's not a specific age. It's approximately 9 to 12.
Okay, so you believe that between the ages of 9 and 12, it's right to give a child puberty blockers.
Yeah.
Yeah, my son literally was on puberty blockers. Yeah.
So what's to say for those children who grew up to be adults who actually want to revert back to their original gender
Puberty
and actually
blockers.
and actually go through real mental trauma like a suicidal ideation because it happens.
Wait. Define real mental trauma.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said real, just mental trauma in general. How about that?
So do you realize that trauma is subjective? Which means that everybody experiences things different. So something that you don't find traumatic, I could, or the other way around, because that's just the way it works.
Right, but do you not agree that trauma to any extent when it extends to
Okay.
the
hold
idea
on a
of
second. Now,
suicidal
I'm
ideation?
gonna interrupt you. Yeah, when we talk about SI, right? We're talking about these young kids that may need to go on puberty blockers or go to therapy at early ages. They also can be experiencing SI.
So are you discounting those people who want to revert back once they are at that age?
No, who
And
said that?
but
For
what
one thing, what do puberty blockers do, P?
it's in their name.
What do they do?
They inhibit a person from going through puberty that they were assigned at birth. Or
Oh, you get your puberty sign at birth? Cool.
Interesting.
And
No, but
approximately
as
how
a
long
man,
do
you go through
kids take
puberty
them?
much different than a woman. I don't know if you know that, but men and
I
women
don't
go
think
through puberty very
I
differently.
don't think you want to talk about knowing things right now. It's not really your forte. More of a penis smell,
So
honestly.
P, how long do kids typically take puberty blockers?
Oh, that's outside my domain. You'll have to answer that for me.
I know.
Great.
Typically around
Yeah.
2 years, maximum being 3 years. What happens when they stop taking them?
When I stop taking them,
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Now, this is again an assumption, so I'm assuming that that they are exactly as they were before they hit puberty.
So they never change once they go off of it?
Not well, physically they would change, but they're I don't know. The brain imbalances, things like that. Is that what
Brain
it does?
imbalances?
Yeah, no. So as soon as you take a kid off of a blocker, the biological puberty, being a male or female puberty, will resume as soon as you stop taking the blockers.
So what I'm hearing is that like males go through like male puberty, like and they take these puberty blockers, they resume that afterwards. Is that what I'm hearing?
They would, yes. It's
They
just a
just go
pause
off.
button. So as soon as
So
you stop the
what is the point
medication,
of the pause?
there's a
It's
lot
to
of
al-
different reasons.
oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, it's to allow the child. So typically, if a child is transgender, they will, when puberty hits, is when the most amount of distress will happen. That's when gender dysphoria typically rears its head. And if that is happening, it allows time for them to continue to work with a therapist to work through the changes that are happening to their body and come to terms with them, or maybe the decision is made at some point to start HRT to continue to assist the child in treating gender dysphoria, but is typically just to pause the puberty that's causing them a severe distress.
Did you get that? I saw you left.
Yeah, I was able to listen.
Okay.
So,
So after they go off the puberty blockers, right? Either the child's going to go through their biological puberty, or another option would be to start HRT, hormone replacement therapy. And at that time, then they would go through a different puberty.
Puberty blockers are also used in cisgender children if they're experiencing precocious puberty, because precocious puberty can be very dangerous. It's not always used with that, but that is one of the treatments that is used in some cases.
And am I correct on it that the majority of people who are on puberty blockers are cisgender girls?
I don't know if they're cisgender girls, but I do know that that more cisgender children are prescribed puberty blockers than transgender children.
Right.
I have heard that about cisgender girls as well, but I do need to figure out where that stat is from to see if it's accurate.
I got you.
I think it is, but I haven't seen it for sure, so I don't want to say that it's definite. But I do think that it's more of a female thing, precocious puberty.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hear my kids singing? Are they no longer kids? Can kids sing? Is that a kid thing?
Kids aren't smart enough to be able to sing on their own. What?
I know.
You have to wait till they're 18 to figure it out.
No.
Mm-hmm. So, do you understand what's going on, P?
Now they're banging on doors.
yeah, I hear you guys' side of it.
Okay. So
It's not about it being our side of it,
do you,
right?
do you still,
Well, it is. It is your side informing what I already know about this.
Yes, fact.
What do you
This is
already know?
opinion. What did you know?
already know? You knew shit. You didn't
Like,
know
what-
anything.
What did you know? No, like that's a general question, Peyton. Specifically, can you bullet point for us? What did you know that was factual?
That's I don't know what the percentage specifically is,
you
but
don't
the
know.
amount of trans people that go on puberty blockers and then revert off to that after they're 18, commit. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but like commit S on
No.
after they transition
No.
back.
So
I
what's
don't know
So-
what the percentage is, but there is a percentage of, and it is deduced to that reason.
No.
About
So
no.
kids are not on puberty blockers until they're 18. That's way too
No, no, no,
long.
no, no. I'm not saying there are. I'm not
So
saying they
about
are until they're 18.
1%, about 1% of transgender children who start the gender or children who start the gender affirming care process end up being cisgender. 1%.
I do want to point out that whenever I asked you to list the things by bullet point, things that you definitely knew, your first words were, I don't know. And that was the most honest thing you've said the entire conversation.
Yeah. And it's
Congrats,
okay to not
pal.
know. I mean, I don't know. It's okay to not
Yeah,
know.
it's
It's
okay
okay to
not to.
ask questions. It's
Yeah,
Totally.
it sounds like you're just against this care without having any type of understanding on what it is.
I just, in my mind, I just think pushing a certain, I wouldn't say narrative, but
Sure.
informing kids about certain things that they wouldn't have known otherwise,
Like things that you
and
don't know
playing
about
into
skills to
that.
develop.
Medical care?
No, not medical care.
It's medical care. It is.
Like telling kids that trans people exist. Is that the problem?
No, it's It's basically, yeah. I mean, not telling them they exist, because I'm sure that. I mean, I don't know what age I knew that trans people were a thing, but it's not necessarily that. It's introducing this to them as if this is like a possibility that they can
It
go
is.
down. If
It is a possibility for any
sure,
child.
it is a possibility, but kids
Very
don't
rare.
like some kids don't know left from right. Like it's hard to say
It
that
doesn't
kids know.
matter.
My 19-year-old doesn't know left from right. What the hell does that mean?
Well, it was an example, and I'm
Wasn't a great
worried
one,
for your.
was it?
Yeah, some adults don't know left from right. Like, it doesn't, that's irrelevant to knowing what your gender identity is.
All right. So,
Children can know their gender identity, period. P, are you planning on having children?
At some point, yeah.
Yeah, so you have a small chance, but a chance of having a transgender child. Whether or not you tell them about it or not. I didn't tell my kid about it. Trans. I had no idea. Didn't know
Sure,
anything.
and how did they turn out?
What do you mean, how did they turn out?
That's a pretty basic question. Like, how did they turn out? Are they fine? Are they great? Are they happy? Like,
they're transgender, is what Mel's saying.
right.
Yeah.
And yeah, and
So
you
a
did not
kid.
inform them of that. So at what age were they presented with that and went through with that whole process?
So that's the thing. It's not like something that you're presented with and then you go through a process. It's very
Or
individual.
presented to you with that they presented to you that they are transgender, I should say.
Yes, she specifically told me and her father when she was 13.
Okay, but not at age 7.
Yeah, that's true. And there's this specific case, yes, she was not 7. She did start recognizing that she had incongruences around the age of 8, but she didn't know what it was. She thought she just wanted to be a girl and she didn't think she could be a girl, so she didn't tell anyone. And then she realized when she got older that she actually didn't want to be a girl, that she is a girl. And then again, it's very individualized. It's very different per child. When Sherry was talking to you earlier about her son never actually came out and said, I'm a boy or I'm trans or anything like that. He just more gradually showed and expressed that he was not a girl.
Yeah, it really depends on the
Gotcha.
kid's age, what they're able to express. Like really small kids, it's more of either if you tell them like that they're a girl and they tell you, no, I'm not a girl, that sometimes is easy to express, or saying things like, I can't wait till I'm born again so I can be born as a boy so I can be myself, like those kinds of things.
Or when they draw pictures of themselves in the future and they draw them at like a child who you are assuming to be a girl who draws themselves as an adult man.
Wait, run that back. Is it when a little girl draws themselves as a grown man?
Yeah, a child who you think is a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
When they
So
draw
what
themselves
would
in
she be other than a little girl?
a boy?
A trans boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it turns out that approximately 2 to 3% of people their brains develop incongruent or the gender identity portion of their brain develops incongruent from their sex assigned at birth. So ultimately, in simple terms, what that means is that their brain is telling them that they are a gender that doesn't match their sex. So when you
Okay.
say to a child who is in fact trans, hey, when you're 25, let's draw a picture of what you look like when you're 25. They're typically going to draw them as that gender, not as the gender that you think they are.
And what percent did you say that was?
Approximately 2 to 3% of all people are transgender, and that's not a hard number because there's lots of people that haven't disclosed, and that's just based on surveys.
So once you're trans, wouldn't that go back the other way too?
You're
Saying that
always
some people would be
trans.
trans and then they're like, oh, actually, I'm not trans anymore. I'm gay or
So
straight or whatever.
no, so it's usually
Oh my
So it's
God.
usually the other way around. Typically, somebody thinks that they are gay and presenting, say, like for females, for example, presenting masculine, and they think they're just a gay female. And then they figure out at some point when they unpack all of that they are actually trans. If you're talking about detransitioners, that accounts for less than 0.5% of the trans population. So less than 0.5% of trans people or people that disclose as trans actually detransition because they are cisgender. So less than 0.5.
So when you say transition, do you mean like physically transition? Because people don't always go through the physical
Not all.
transitions.
It could be any type of transition. Some people just socially transition. And when I say detransition, most people who detransition for reasons other than not being trans. So things like financial reasons. Maybe they lost their health insurance, so they can't afford medications that they would need. Sometimes it's because they don't have the support that they need, so they detransition in order to be accepted by the people around them better. There's a lot of reasons that people detransition, and most of them are not because they're cisgender.
Gotcha.
Great.
So are we all good now?
Yeah, I have nothing left to discuss. I think I've made my points, and I think you've made yours.
Oh my God.
All those comedians out of work and you're cracking
I
jokes.
hope if you were in the chat right now and you learned anything from this conversation, please put some hearts in the chat because I need to know that that was worth something. Fuck it, just pretend you learned something.
Just throw Mel a
Someone post
bone.
a
Just say
heart,
you learned
please.
something funny.
Oh man.
Oh.
I made my
Yay.
point.
Okay.
I made my point that I know absolutely nothing about this and I have strong opinions. Yes, you made that point quite well.
Oh God.
That's mostly how it is, right? The ones that don't know anything, they have really strong opinions on it.
Yes.
And look, like Phoenix said, it's okay not to know. There's nothing wrong with that. If someone comes up here and says, I don't know, I will never judge them for it. Ever.
Absolutely. Like we literally want to be able to tell people things so they do know. Like that's the point. Hello, the one and whatever.
Hi,
Hi, how old are you?
I am finna be 19 years old.
Cool.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you. I just wanted to get on here and say something because everybody's talking about being transgender. And I'm transgender in a really small town. And it's crazy. And it's always people who have no education on being transgender. And it's so funny to me. I love it. I think it's hilarious because I don't think anybody has the right to an opinion about being trans unless you are trans or you have close transgender friends or family. it took my brother like 6 to 7 years to even accept the fact that I was transgender.
Gosh, so long.
Wow.
Such a long time. This is
Mm-hmm.
why this education is really important. If we can teach children when they're young on what being transgender is, because this oftentimes this story comes up where, yeah, even the sibling of a transgender person cannot even accept them because they just don't understand it.
And everybody's like, let kids be kids. When I was a kid, I was not being a kid. I was thinking
Yeah.
about what it would be like to be a girl. I wasn't worried about anything else. Nobody knows, so I don't know why they say stuff like that.
Yeah, and probably stressed about feeling like there was something wrong with you and all of those things.
Yeah, I felt totally disassociated from everybody in my life because
Mm-hmm.
they really didn't know me.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a shitty comment.
I'm sorry that you had that experience. I'm hoping that you have better support now.
I do. My dad did not accept me for years, but he called me ma'am for the first night or for the first time like a week ago, and it changed
Aww.
my life.
Now, let me tell you, as of someone of a certain age, when there's going to be an age when you won't want people to call you ma'am anymore. Okay? I was going to say.
That's true.
You'll be like, you mean miss? Because I'm not
Yeah.
that old. I love
Yeah.
that. I'm so happy that you have that acceptance and love. Love that.
Thank y'all so much. I just wanted to come on here and just, talk
Thank
about
you.
my transition.
Of course. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Bye.
Of course. Bye.
Bye, Gorge. Happy
Aw.
birthday again.
Bye. We need 3 more subs to complete the subwave, and everyone will get a cool. I don't know if it's cool. It might suck. You could get a shitty emote. I don't know what it is. But
Way to sell it, Mel. Way to sell it.
I feel bad. I'm like, I
Hey,
don't want to
3 more
promise
of you
anything.
subscribe. I'll give you the worst emote you've ever seen.
It just comes. It's just TikTok does it. It's not me.
Oh my gosh. I love that so much.
This is why I have a little bit lower of a. I'm like, you want to sub, please? But you don't.
Right, boss lady? Boss lady said, wish Peyton heard that guest. Absolutely. Although I don't know that it would have sunk in. I mean,
No, probably not.
I'm hearing shit.
Huh? Have you been to the doctor recently?
I think it's the elote man.
are you old enough for therapy yet?
Me?
Yeah.
Almost.
You're fine. Sky.
That's right. She gets therapy every day.
Oh, hey.
Oh,
What? Huh?
Wow.
There are different types of therapy, I've heard.
Hey.
That's not what I meant. You guys
I
are
know.
gross.
Hello.
Dirty
how
minds.
old are you?
Yo, I'm 22.
All right, what's up?
Are we debating?
It's not a
Nope.
debate. No.
We're talking.
Oh, we're just chatting around town.
Something like that.
Well, can I chat about this topic?
Uh-huh.
For sure.
Well, like, I understand let the kids be trans. Actually, I don't understand, man. Like, hold up. Like, how you gonna tell a kid he can switch? How you gonna tell a girl that she could have a dick? Like, this shit don't make sense to me. Can you just...
What the hell is that?
Why are you going to pretend you can rap?
That's a
That was
new
dope.
one. That is a
Wow.
new one.
Okay,
I
if
love
it
it.
doesn't make sense to you, that's great. We could have explained it. That was the weirdest
That was
thing.
a new one. I'm glad I
Okay,
was here
then.
for that.
That
They
went.
ended
believe
it.
that.
You know, honestly, I thought it was going to be strange. Usually it's weird when somebody...
Well, no, I
starts-
saw his first video and it was going to go downhill real fast.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I love how you check all that stuff, Bish.
I do. Hey, I want to thank you very much
Always.
for keeping the for putting the crap in rap, honestly, because that was just bad. The caucasity of you to do that, honestly.
I know, boss lady. The camera always is like a little suspicious.
He's just
Yeah.
wrapping his questions. Oh my god, I'm like drooling. I don't know what that was. Anyway, I gotta give him something for that effort, honestly.
Right?
What the fuck is this? Hello?
Hey,
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 19,
What year were you born?
2004. I'm gonna be 20 in June.
Cool. All right. What's up?
So I see a lot of y'all's stuff with like trans, and I don't care if you're trans as an adult, but I think you should not include your kids.
2004 is 19.
We mean include your kids.
Yeah, hot topic.
Should we
Um,
make our
that
kids
is-
wait till they're 18 to have anxiety and depression too?
Somebody said I'm not 19. That is 19. I'm
It
gonna be
is. You don't worry about the
2004,
trans.
yeah. I heard you. You're good.
So do
All
you
right.
think we should make kids wait till they're 18 to have anxiety and depression too?
Yeah, actually, there's other things that you could do to help with that. You don't have to change your gender.
What are those
Tell me
things?
about it,
What?
Doc.
That's not what she said.
What are those things specifically, please? I have a notepad. I'm ready to take notes.
I don't know, maybe like you can get therapy,
What?
you could take different medication, but you don't have to change your whole gender because as a kid you don't even know your brain's not even developed.
Oh god.
So
how
it
you gonna
turns
change
out
your
that
gender?
the very first step in gender affirming care is therapy.
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I
well,
think
you
he
don't have
completely
to.
missed the point of what Sherry was trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they try to get you into special therapy, and I don't agree with
It's
that.
It's
not
not
special
special.
therapy. It's
Yeah.
really not.
What's special about it specifically? How is it different than other therapies, please?
Because they're trying to brainwash you and validate
Really?
your
Oh, I want to
feelings.
hear all about this. So tell
Validate
me,
your feelings.
tell me how a therapist brainwashes a child. Can you tell me all about that?
Because a child doesn't understand that just because she likes to play with like trucks and stuff, that doesn't mean that she's a boy.
You're
It just means
absolutely
she's a
right. That
tomboy.
doesn't. Yep, that doesn't mean that they're a boy.
Not even it does not even mean that.
So do you?
I had a sister that used to play in the dirt and rocks, and she grew up wearing sundresses.
Imagine kids playing in dirt.
Amazing.
So you think that girls playing in dirt and with trucks is how therapists evaluate a child to determine that they are in fact trans?
No, actually, a lot of people do that.
I mean, you're not wrong because I also played with dirt and trucks, and I also grew up to wear sundresses. So, cool.
Same.
Gosh, I love you.
Yeah, but you probably just I don't know what happened to you, but
I don't know.
Oh,
Wow. Okay.
that was not very nice.
Well, I'm also not trans, so there's that.
well, yeah.
That was funny
You
about
know-
playing with rocks and wearing sundresses.
You
Yeah,
too?
so I'm still missing where I guess I'm not understanding what you're saying. Can you tell me again how therapists brainwash children?
I just basically
What does that
think they
process
should
look
leave
like?
children alone. They should just leave kids alone.
What are you doing?
So a
Okay, so back to my
child,
original question. Hold on. Back to my original
Yeah, go
question. So not a trans kid, right? A cisgender kid. So
They
are
should
the
leave all kids
therapists
alone. There's no trans
brainwashing?
kids.
Okay, so are the cisgender kids who have anxiety and depression, are they being brainwashed when they go to a therapist?
If they're going to a therapist that's validating them needing to cut off their genitals, yes.
Okay, you weren't listening. You weren't listening. I said cisgender kids, not
Dear
transgender kids.
God.
Cisgender kids who go to the therapist for anxiety or depression. I'm not talking about being trans at all.
Okay, what is a cisgender kid?
Oh, honey.
Not trans. I'll make it easy for you.
Like a regular kid?
Not trans.
Regular, so.
Okay.
So
Well,
when
what
they
would they be
have
going to
when they
therapy
have
for?
anxiety and depression, well, my first question was, are they allowed to have that before 18? Because you don't think that that's possible. But let's
No.
just say that they're allowed to go to therapy before they're 18 for those kind of things. Is the therapist brainwashing them into having the anxiety, or did they come to the therapist because they had the anxiety?
They have anxiety because of the way that they're raised.
Oh.
So wait a minute. So anxiety has nothing to do with any biological factors about a person. This is all because their parents raised them the wrong way. That's how people end up with anxiety disorders.
No, I'm saying like there is a lot of times if there's a kid that is confused about their gender, is because the way
So that's
they're
not what the
raised.
sis is asking you. The sis is asking you if somebody should go to, if a child has anxiety, should they just not go to therapy? Or she's asking you if kids are allowed to have anxiety before 18.
I
It
mean,
has
if
nothing to do with
they
being
go to
trans. If she's asking you a question that has nothing to do with somebody being trans.
what kind of therapy? Like regular therapy?
What is the difference? Like, is there a
What is the
different
problem with
kind?
therapy?
Yeah, I don't understand.
If it's regular therapy, then yes.
What is regular
What's
therapy?
Like not trying to teach you to be like be a liberal trans.
Are you muted, Mel?
Oh, the word you're looking for is educated, not liberal. I'm sorry. I threw
is
that
that
one.
what?
Wait,
Is
so
that
are
what
there
we're doing in
conservative
therapy?
trans? I didn't even realize that they were liberal and conservative
Well,
trans. I
honestly,
missed something.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Well,
So
it's kind of a whole agenda.
That's
So
true.
I am muted. I
what's the
just laughed. I thought it
what,
was funny.
what's the agenda? What is the agenda, Ching? Wait. Oh, what's your username? Don't say it though. What's the story behind that username?
what's the story behind? I don't have a story behind my username.
That looks.
Honestly, I don't know anything about it.
It might be the character's name. I don't know.
I just made that shit up.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. Either way, God.
You heard it here. People go to therapy to become liberals. That's what that's the claim. You go to therapy and turn into a liberal.
Yeah, that's not. I didn't even say that.
I'm so confused.
Not the only one.
Yeah, it's because you're brainwashed.
Well, I would say the same for you, but you need to have a brain first to qualify for brainwashing.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Wait, so who brainwashed me?
Social media.
Really?
Therapist?
We should get you off of social media right away. Then I don't want you to get brainwashed. We should remove you from
No,
social media.
it's because the people.
Why?
No,
I had to save them. I'm sorry.
We need save the children. Yeah, I'm fairly
Phoenix, you can go back.
I am fairly certain that username was a racial slur. Honestly.
Oh God. All right.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm like,
That was funny.
You know what's weird? These like patterns are so strange, right? This whole like earlier, it was everybody had a problem with my spaceship in my background, and tonight it's all about issues with therapy. What?
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird.
Oh, hello.
And I haven't even disclosed that to anybody yet.
Oh my
I know.
God. Disclosed what? Hello.
What I
That they're a
do.
therapist.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? I know. Oh my God. Hello? There you are.
Please shut the fuck up.
No.
I
That's
would like.
so original.
Yeah, I'd like to offer you a spoon.
My foot is asleep.
What on earth? Who hurt me? How much time you got?
Right. Well, I would say we can go to therapy about it, but that's bad apparently.
I liked
I don't think I'm old enough yet.
What do we do when the people say I liked him? Hello?
Hello?
God, I don't know what your name is. This looks scary. All right, how old are you?
40.
Boy.
It looks scary? My American flag scared you?
No.
Kind of.
That, yes, but I don't even, whatever. What the fuck? Go, what's up?
That was weird. All right. So your statement behind you, let kids be trans. What do you mean by that exactly? What is your state? What do you?
Some kids are trans, support those kids.
And okay, the therapy, I'm not even going to argue because therapy is good for everybody.
Good.
Oh,
Oh,
thank
thank
God.
God.
At some point.
Okay,
I
sigh
mean,
of
That's a fucking
relief.
relief.
therapy is needed. I get it. I understand it.
Right.
At all ages, what I mean, not all ages, but
Right. But
adolescent years are okay.
right. But
But
yeah, I know.
the question I would have is having a daughter that went to therapy myself, not for any of these issues, but underage kids in therapy, typically the parents don't find out why they're in therapy because there's a law stating the therapist, unless the child is in danger, they don't report back to the parent. So,
Who told you that?
um, the therapist here in California,
So,
if the
Oh,
if the
those liberal
if
therapists
if
in California.
well, hey, I'm not liberal and I'm in California, but that's besides the point. I'm not going to
I'm
argue that
shocked.
point.
I'm
Obvi-
shocked with your American flag.
I know, I know,
who's
I know. It already
who's
scared you, but
bringing? Wait, who's? What can I call
so
you? What is
can
your
you
name?
my name? Just call me Jay.
Jay.
Yeah.
Okay, Jay.
So
Who is bringing the child to the therapist?
What the fuck happened?
the parents. What do you mean?
Right. So the parents bring the child to the therapist, and because the child is underage, does the parent have to then have some sort of consent to the child being in therapy?
Of course, of course.
Right. So do you think that it would be advantageous to involve the parent in the therapy process in some way?
No, we were involved. I'm just saying the
Right.
discussions between the therapist and my child were private.
As they should
And
be, to some extent, right?
100%. So my point being is when your child goes to at 12, 13, 14 years old goes to therapy and they're not in danger, they just need some help with something they're dealing with, right? And you're unaware of those items, how would you know by those statements that your kid is having trans issues?
So typically, in those situations, the parents would be involved, and usually it's the therapist working with the child to get to that point where they are comfortable disclosing that to the
So
parent,
are you
right?
saying before the child goes to therapy, they're disclosing to the parent that they want to
Sometimes.
transition?
No, they typically are not saying they want to transition. Typically, there's
That's what I'm
other
trying to
things
get
that
to. I'm trying to find out how you're getting to that conclusion based on a
Being
therapy.
transgender does not mean that you transition. And we're talking about gender affirming care. It's not called gender transition care, right?
I mean, I'm going off your statement. Let
yeah.
kids be trans
So
is going off your statement.
trans means transgender, and all transgender means is that
Right.
your gender identity and your sex assigned at birth don't align, right? So typically
Well, I
a
don't
young
agree with all that
child,
anyway. I don't agree with those two statements, but
so
I'm
there's
going off of the statement
tons
itself.
of empirical evidence that support that that's a thing, and that about 2
Well,
to
no,
3%.
that's a thing people believe.
No.
No,
That's
it's not
like
a belief. It's
hold on.
literally not a belief.
I'm gonna make a statement because earlier I was watching. I don't remember the gentleman's name that was on,
Can't wait.
but
I'm
I
so
don't want to
excited.
offend this dude. But the
I'm
Bish
so
Dish, is that
excited
what
about
your name is?
Yep.
it. So excited.
Okay. So you kept telling the guy, well, it's not about your feelings.
Right. It's also not about yours. Correct.
Okay, right. So let me get it right. You keep telling somebody it's not about their feelings, but the issue here is a feeling, right?
No.
No.
No, time out. The person
You're,
feels.
it's
We
not.
all said no, and they're like, yes, it is. No.
Okay, so
None of us said it was a
if
feeling.
if the person is questioning their sexuality, they feel a
There's
certain way,
nothing to do
right?
with
Again,
sexuality,
this is not sexuality.
Or, I'm sorry, not sexuality. I'm sorry, not their
their
sex.
gender identity.
Okay.
They're not even questioning
If
their sex. It's their gender identity.
well, there's male or female.
No.
So yeah, there's two genders.
No.
Those are not genders.
So anyway, okay, in a real world, there's two genders.
Okay.
Let me ask you a
That's
question.
a
Okay,
real
no,
fucking
I live
world,
in the real
dude.
world.
Nope. Here's not. We're not going to play this game. Okay. So you can say there's two genders. You're incorrect on that one. There are. We can talk about sex and gender. Do you recognize that sex and gender are different? Do you recognize that? Because if we're going to have the conversation, we're going to talk about facts, and you just can't say no, and pivot to the next spin that you want to do. We can talk about them, but you don't just keep saying things and then running in a different direction. Unmute the conversation. We'll chat. Unmute the mic. We'll chat.
Mute my mic, so didn't know it was muted. So
I do.
you believe those two things are different, right?
No, it's not that we
It's
believe
not a
that they
belief.
are. They are.
different. It's not a belief. You keep saying that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I
A
believe. I
belief
believe
is
there's
something
only.
without evidence, right?
It's not
There's
about
nothing to
your
back it up.
belief.
This is not a belief.
It is a belief.
It is not a belief. This is a
So
fact.
so what else is there besides male and female?
Male and female
Intersex.
is, yeah, and they're also
There's what?
intersex.
And how many cases do you know of that?
How many do I
Millions.
know of?
Millions of intersex people?
Millions and millions.
Millions. Where's that stat?
It's about 1.7% of the population.
Where's that stat at?
People.
I mean, you want me to get it? I'll go get it.
Yeah, I do. No,
Sure, I'll
absolutely.
be right back. I'll go get it.
Great. I don't
Okay,
know
cool.
why that's relevant to anything, but sure.
And once the door provides that stat to you, are you going to say no?
Because you
it's not
said-
your... Hold on. I'm asking you a question.
Well, she asked me a question. I was answering.
Right. So whenever Adora gives you that stat, are you going to accept it, or are you going to say no? That's not your belief, because that's what you've done with every other
Well-
fact we've given you so far.
If they're going to prove that there's this intersex and there's millions of people with this.
Mhm.
I mean, I've never met anybody that way ever. And I'm
Oh,
saying,
well, you
I
know.
doubt that people
Hold on.
disclose that to you.
Seriously, that's
Really?
not something you're going to talk to someone about.
Really.
Yeah, how would you know that?
Okay.
How would you know that somebody has something like a chromosomal pair that's not typical, or like ambiguous genitalia?
So you're going to
Somebody's
sit
gonna
here
tell
and
you
tell me
that?
you're going to tell me that we have facts to back that up, but nobody knows about it?
What do you mean nobody
Oh my
knows
God.
about it? We're saying that it's not
General-
something that
it's not
somebody would
something-
openly disclose to you.
Well, of course, I'm not saying they're going to come out and be like, I'm not saying an individual's going to come out and be like, hey, did you know this about me? I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
What
but
I
you
am
said you
saying-
didn't know someone. That was the point, right? You don't
What
know
I'm
if
saying,
you know someone.
what I'm saying is, within our lives, we meet thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, right?
OHCRH.org.
That's exactly what I found.
Yep. United
What is it?
Nations.
Yep. United Nations Human Rights something High Commissioner or something like that.
Office of the High Commissioner.
Yeah.
1.7% of the population are born with intersex traits.
What website is that? I'm sorry, what did you say? You cut out.
Where'd it go? OHCR. Oh my God. These letters are hard, guys. OHCHR.org.
And it states what?
That about 1% of the world's population is intersex.
That about. So where is that information? Where do they obtain that information? At?
Experts estimate up to 1.7%
Why do you care?
are
I
born
know.
with intersex traits. This
Because
is
my
irrelevant.
point being, I made a statement. I made a statement that there's two sexes, a male and a female.
And you're incorrect.
And then somebody came
And
in
then
and
we're
said
not
no.
going to leave
there's
off
not.
the other millions of people that are not just male or female, right? We're not going to
Exactly
just forget about them and erase them.
Exactly
They're still
what's going to
there.
happen. Adora came back and gave you the stat, gave you the cite in the citation.
Well, he
the
gave me a stat, and just because
Stop
he.
fucking misgendering
Well, sorry,
her.
I'm sorry. I didn't know it was a girl. Sorry,
Okay.
I can't. see her
But
picture.
it's exactly what I said you were going to do. You came back, she gave you the information, she gave you the source and citation, and you're saying,
Yep.
nuh-uh.
No, I'm not saying nah. I'm going to look it up and research it myself. That's what I'm going to do.
Please do. We'll wait for you. Go
Right.
and grab that so we can have a conversation about it. It's real easy. Google it real fast.
So
Even
moving
if it's
on.
only 0.2% of the population, they still exist.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No, I didn't say they. I'm not saying they do or don't. I don't know.
You asked
So
what
what's your
else
point
is there
about
other
sex,
than male
though?
or female, and the answer is intersex. It doesn't matter what percentage.
There are still intersex people, and we're not going to erase them. So anyway,
Okay, so I'll give you the
no,
benefit of the doubt.
intersex
Okay?
people can still have any gender identity, so it's irrelevant.
So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that stat is accurate. Okay. Most individuals claim either male or female, correct?
And those people will be wrong.
How is that if you're claiming it? If they're claiming it themselves, how is it wrong?
That you're assigned male or female at birth, sure. We're not
Okay,
arguing.
yeah, I thought you meant something else.
Yeah, it's fine. I was confused too.
So,
What? Nobody's arguing that.
okay, back to the point of let kids be trans. I'm going off of your
Yes.
statement.
Yeah.
At what point are you letting them transition to where it's safe?
So again, being transgender is not transitioning. They're different things. right?
What
Being
is it?
transgender.
Trans is meaning. Somebody even
No, it
best said
doesn't.
that. It
It means
means transition.
transgender. It means
No, it
It
means
doesn't.
transgender.
Okay, so when
Transgender.
you're trans something, you're changing something, right?
Nope.
No,
You're not.
no.
Correct.
Whenever you're doing
Wow.
transportation, are you changing portation? When you go transatlantic, are you
You're
changing the
transportating?
Atlantic?
You're moving. Yes, you're changing. You're changing location. That's
Nope.
exactly what
Nope.
transport means.
Wrong.
What does the prefix mean? What does the prefix trans mean?
I'm not a dictionary. I'm not going to tell you a prefix. I mean,
You could just say you don't know. It's susceptible.
It's okay.
it's. I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
I don't know.
the
It's
prefix of
fine. We
trans.
do know the prefix means on the opposite side of.
Means on the opposite side of. That's
Yep.
what you're
It's
telling me.
Latin. It means on the opposite side of.
Okay, and trans is also the abbreviation for what?
Transgender.
No, there's more than that. You can add that to it if
When
that's
we're
what you
talking
like.
about trans, the topic above your head, when it says let kids be
I
trans,
see that.
it
I see
means
that.
let kids be
But
transgender.
you
Right.
That
guys
is
want
the
to get.
topic.
It's referring to transgender, not let kids be transformers. It doesn't say let's kids be trans.
But you guys are being literal. Like you say, what's the prefix? Okay, so I'll
Oh
do
my
my
God.
research
No, we
I'll look.
abbreviate transgender
Okay,
to trans often, just like
so
cisgender.
you abbreviated it, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm telling you, we're referring to transgender, not transportation or let kids be transformers. It's not what it says. Transgender. Let kids be
So
transgender.
when I give you a definition of trans that's in the dictionary, and I say it means to change, and you say, well, no.
Where's that? I haven't seen that.
Look
You
up the origin. Look up the origin of trans,
you
We
just
and
said
it'll give you its
Yeah,
abbreviation
it's gonna say what
for
we said.
13 things.
you actually just
Actually,
said that you're not the dictionary, correct?
I know, but I do have a computer, and I looked it up because you're
On
asking
or
me a
to the other
question.
side of,
So
across, beyond,
okay, so there's
through.
13 abbreviations that trans could stand for. As transgender,
Right.
honestly,
So
is not
we're
even one of them.
referring to
Right,
transgender.
but you're
If
talking
there's
about transition. We're not talking about transition. We've already said it many, many times. We're talking about transgender. So stay on topic. We're talking about transgender.
So you're
So
changing
your
the gender,
question
right?
is, your question
no,
is about kids
Wow.
being transgender,
no, you're not
right?
changing your gender. That's what we're trying to tell you. You're not changing your gender.
I'm lost. How are you not changing your
You
gender?
are often lost because
If you were assigned male at birth,
there's this whole
and you
misconception around what being transgender is, and people have this idea that it means you're changing genders or you're transforming into something or transitioning, and it's not. That's not what it means.
so what is it? What is it?
It means your gender identity naturally develops incongruent from your sex assigned at birth. So you can be male in a girl, or male in a woman, or female.
That's impossible. That's
It's
impossible.
not impossible. That's
It's
literally
not
what
impossible.
transgender is.
No, it's impossible to be a female and be a male.
I didn't say
No,
female
a
and
man.
male. Man.
You can't be a man if you're female. You cannot.
You're
Yes, you
wrong.
Can.
You cannot.
I'm right here.
Great. You keep
You
looking
cannot.
up things again. You keep go look up transgender.
Physically, you cannot. You can change
Go
yourself to
look
be
up
look
transgender.
like a man.
No, you're just incorrect. Do you want to keep looking up things, or are you just done now because you don't want to know?
I mean,
what
that's just straight science. You cannot if you
Oh,
if you are
please
if you are
let's talk about
if
science.
you are if
Please
you are
let's
a
talk about
woman,
science. I
I
can't
love
wait
how
to-
you're looking up definitions until we get to this one.
if you are, it's just straight.
let's talk about
Physical-
science. I want you to give scientific
so
claims.
we-
We're gonna have some fun with this one. We're gonna enjoy this one.
Can't. Boo.
Oh goodness, no.
Did you get a warning?
Yes. Did anybody check in with Demi earlier?
No, what happened?
I forgot. She got taken down in my live.
Oh come
Yeah,
on.
that's right.
The guest was horrible, not her.
Yeah. I
Yep.
don't, she said she was going to appeal it and then come back, and then I didn't see anything after that.
Rude.
Let's check in with her.
I can
Oh.
message her.
Should I still should I reset?
It's up
I
to
don't
you.
know. You know better than me.
Likely, I mean, if another person comes up here and gets a it gets banned, you will as well.
No, I know. It's either end or reset.
No,
Yeah.
that sucks. Whatever
I
you're
have a lot of
feeling.
requests. Let's see how many people beg me to stay. See, I knew they would. If you all were like, go away, I'd be like, fine, but all right.
Well, that's what they would say in my live.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay.
I don't usually do this on camera. I can't do it on camera. Where's my stick? Where's my stick? I had to restart. I got a violation. W Walgreens. You guys, next month is Pride Month, and if you guys were here last year, I already got my face stickers prepared, and I have my Pride earrings, and you know, I'll be wearing Pride shit all month. Oh, don't worry about it. We're fine. I can't believe it's almost freaking
Hi.
oh my god. Even
Hi.
How old are
Can
you?
you hear me?
You have a horrible.
I know. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. I don't know if you have like Bluetooth on, and I couldn't get your age, so I don't know if you. My hat is hatting. Oh, thanks. You know, I don't know what it is. It's like after I dye my hair, Adora, I'll let you know if you. After I dye my hair always looks really good, and then it like never looks like this again until I dye it again. Hello, how old are you?
Recently turned 18.
What year did you born? What year did you born? What year were you born?
2006.
All right, what's up?
You know, gone. You remember that Ching Ching guy?
Gross. Yeah.
Well, going based off of what he said about the brainwashing thing, how do you think that these kids originally got this idea or thought put into their head in the first place?
Their gender identity literally develops that way.
Is that how that works? I mean, I'm not really educated on it, so.
It is how that works. Yeah.
Well, you know, I just thought it was because, you know, they felt a weird type of way about themselves. So then they learned this information from people, and then they just started to believe in that thought. And then,
No.
Who are we learning it from?
you know, like parents or social media.
My parents didn't teach me this.
You know, just like the environment that they're set in.
Yeah, my environment didn't teach me any of this.
Well, you're not everyone. You're just a single individual.
Transgender.
Then how am I trans if I wasn't influenced or taught?
I'm not saying it's all the same.
Right. Transgender people are typically brought up in an environment where they're not accepted and they're still trans. Like, wouldn't they just be influenced to be cis?
Yeah, but back to what I just said, you know, like not everyone's the same.
Yeah, not everyone is the same, and no one is actually influenced to be trans.
Yeah, but I just feel like it's kind of unfair to act like you're speaking for everyone, but you're not.
What? We're not speaking for everyone. What are you talking about?
Well,
Gender
when I originally made my point, you tried
identity
to bring yourself into it as if you are speaking for everyone.
No, she gave her own experience, right?
Yeah, but like you're not everyone.
So she didn't say she was everyone.
I know, but like I don't understand why you are bringing your life into it.
Because you made a claim, right? That transgender people had to like know about this or like be taught about being trans. Thank you, to be trans.
Wait, say that again. I can hear you.
Incorrect. You do not need to be taught to be trans to be trans.
Back to what I originally said. I said, you know, like with what that Ching Ching guy said.
Can we not say his name? I believe it's a racial slur.
It's a word.
we're still. I don't want to.
Just stop. And we don't need to bring up previous guests anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what he said about brainwashing, like just how are these kids getting this thought into their head when they're growing up?
Again, they naturally develop that way. Phoenix, thank you.
How does that work? How do they naturally gain this?
Their gender identity develops incongruent from their sex assigned at birth.
How?
It just does.
How? Is that proven?
Yes, it's proven. Go look it up.
Scientifically proven?
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, if that were the case, then why would you be assigned male or female at birth?
What?
If that were the case, then how would
Male or female are not gender identities. Like literally being transgender means your sex assigned at birth naturally develops incongruent or your gender identity naturally develops. I said it wrong. Your gender identity naturally develops incongruent from your sex assigned at birth. So your sex being assigned at birth is part of that's just part of it.
Well, that's not fair, is it?
I have a source, Scuba Steve, Gender Identity Development in Children on healthychildren.org, which is by the American Academy of Pediatrics.
I have no idea what what you just said, but
Source.
So that's just that's a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
You say that it just somehow naturally just gain that, but yet why would that be a system at birth? I feel that's not
a system.
Yeah, it's a system. If you have a penis, then you are assigned male. If you have a vagina, you're assigned female. But, if you have this thing where you just naturally gain a sense of gender somehow without being brainwashed in any way possible.
Everybody develops a sense of gender. It's not some just somehow somebody gets a sense of it. Like everybody goes through that development.
People.
Well, I never went through that.
You did. You just didn't notice it because you're cisgender. Everybody develops their sense of gender. It doesn't have to do with your genitals. Like, how do you know that you're a guy?
With a dick?
That's the most shallow, dumbest answer that cis men give all the time. It's not because of, so if you lost it tomorrow, are you not a man anymore?
I guess not. No, I'm joking. I mean, yeah, I still would. I'd still be a man.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that's not fair. Biologically,
Unless you're saying you identify as a dick, then that's different.
No. Biologically, I would be considered a man. I have higher testosterone levels. I have a naturally deeper voice than
What
women.
about as a child, though, as a little boy?
Huh?
What about as a child, as a little boy? How did you know you were a little boy?
Penis.
No,
that's not.
That's literally not how children know their gender identities. They don't actually relate it to their genitalia.
I don't know. I
would guess if you were like 5. I'm guessing when you were 5, if someone told you they said that you were a girl, you would probably correct them and be like, "No, I'm a boy."
Mel, what did you just say though?
I don't know. What did I say? I say things and then I forget what I say. That's just part of what I do. What did I say? I don't know.
That's why I just asked you. What did you say?
I don't know what I said.
Well, okay. Well, then that's I guess. Listen.
What did Sherry say to you?
I already forgot.
Oh my gosh, this is such a great conversation. Nobody remembers
I know. Okay. So I guess it could go both ways. When I said, like, how would you know that you would be a different gender than what you are? But I guess you could also say, how would you know that you are male, female? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know.
Right, because your brain just develops, right? Everyone goes through a phase of development.
There's
in infancy, toddlerhood, early childhood. And at some point around 3 years old is when your gender starts to form in your brain. Now, cisgender people don't notice this because there's no incongruency, right? So when you're little and people are telling you that you're a boy, it just clicks and it fits for you. Now, if you were trans and then people were calling you a little boy, you would notice that something didn't feel right or sound right or something of the sort.
So you just said like you're going based off of what people think of you?
No, I'm just saying that when you get identified, like when you get misgendered as a small child who's trans, sometimes for those kids, like it just doesn't feel right. Like they know something, like what you're telling them is just not true. that's when you would notice that your gender is different than your sex. You didn't notice your gender developing because you were congruent. It's the things that you typically tend to remember stuff in your early childhood that are more traumatic, right? These are the things that stick out and you remember. You don't remember this process because you're cis. For a lot of trans people, they do remember this at 3, 4, 5, 6 years old because they're trans, and it caused a different thought process, right? Of when they realized, wait a minute, people are calling me this, but that's not who I am. And then it's like, what's going on?
That sounds like, to me personally, that sounds like pure delusion.
That's not a delusion.
That's what it sounds like.
Well, you're
Mel's got the lesbian hat on now. Let's get serious.
It's lesbian time.
I know.
I don't really know what to add on about that. I mean, except it just sounds like delusion.
Okay.
Well,
it's not.
Yeah, because your identity, forming your identity, and your sense of self is not a delusion.
Okay, hold on. Let me think about this. So you said that, you know, it just comes to you naturally, right? And I am supposedly, y'all name me a cis. Supposedly that's what I am. I'm a cis now. So why?
No, you're cis. You've always been cis. You just didn't know the adjective that described it. Imagine that.
That sounds kind of ridiculous.
You don't actually have to know. Like, it's just like, you can still be trans, right? You can be trans. You can always be trans and just not have the adjective to describe that. It doesn't make you not trans.
That just sounds ridiculous.
What sounds ridiculous about specifically? What about it is ridiculous?
Saying that, like, you can just always be something but not know it. That just sounds ridiculous.
You
just don't have the language.
Literally, like, what about like a Homo sapien? You know what that is?
Hey, I heard of it, but I just don't know what the exact definition of it.
Homo sapien, it's human, my guy.
Hey, we say what?
Human being.
Human.
Okay.
Right.
So you are Homo sapien. You didn't know what it meant, but you still are.
Damn, you got me on that one.
Yeah,
Right.
please say no homo,
Same thing.
please.
I feel like that's just like mixing it up a little bit, though.
No, it's just because you don't have the language to describe something doesn't make you not that thing. Like, are you straight?
Yes.
Right. So before, like, even if you didn't know the word straight, if you're a man attracted to women, right, that's still being straight. So you could be a man and be attracted to women and not have the word.
But you see, I've gone through this thing, like this rabbit hole of brainwash twice, actually. When I was very young.
What?
When I was very young, I was told these things. Okay, so here's the thing. Let me speak, please. Let me speak. On my dad's side, he is a full-blown Southern white man. All right. So you already know his beliefs just off that. And on my mom's side, she is like y'all. And they were split up. So I had to go through these two different, raised these two different ways. But I mainly was with my mom because I only got to see my dad on the weekends. So, like I said, I've already gone down this rabbit hole of brainwash twice because, I was I always was straight by going off of what y'all say, but I was brainwashed into believing that I wasn't and that I was different by my mom. So I was like, man, I think I'm bisexual. Right? I think because she didn't tell me like you are bisexual, but the way that she would tell me things, the way that she would raise me would make me believe this. So I was like, man, I must be bisexual. So I was like, yep, I'm into guys and girls. And then I was like, nah, I'm straight.
It's the wildest thing I've ever heard.
I swear, my whole childhood.
Their little moms are just making over their kids trans and bi.
Moms.
Wild.
Yeah, and then I was like, nah, I'm straight. This isn't me. So then it got to the point again where she was just like
muffled out, so it sounds like you're like panicking. Wait.
Is that better? Am I back?
It's a little better, yeah.
Great. Easy question. Are you bi then?
No.
I guess it didn't work because you can't make someone be something that they are not.
But why would I believe this at first? Because I did believe it at a certain point. So why would I believe that, right? Because of brainwash.
Context of that, like, did you have a conversation about you actually being attracted to boys in some sense?
Yes, but it was. I don't really remember the conversation because that was a long time ago. But it's brainwash. I believed it.
Maybe your mom was trying to help you understand yourself, and then you figured out, like, oh no, I'm actually not attracted to boys. It's just girls.
No.
So wasn't that your mom just said, like, you can be with whoever you want and, like, love whoever you want, and that made you think that you were possibly bi because she said that anything was okay?
She would say stuff like that.
She would say stuff like that, like, no matter who you love, that's okay, and I'm going to accept them, and that made you think you were bi?
Yo, Pebbles, I'm not lying. I'm telling the God honest truth, by the way.
Did you like watch a One Direction video and go, huh, maybe?
Oh shit! What the hell? You guys suck.
What happened?
Violation. This was like a fun conversation. It was
So annoying.
annoying, but it was kind of.
Yeah. I mean, if annoying was a violation, I'd be in trouble already.
No, it's annoying to get the violation.
Brainwashing him into thinking he was bi. Yeah, it sounds like to me like, oh, if you like boys, like, that's okay, right? Like. So then he was like, and then open to, like, thinking, like, okay, maybe I could be attracted to boys. I'm like, no, I'm actually not. There's nothing wrong with that.
I was going to say that, yeah, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's like, I think exploration for sexuality is a good thing for all adolescents to go through. So you don't have to figure this shit out when you're in your 30s and 40s and you're stuck in a life that you haven't loved for the past 10, 15 years. Like, they should explore that when they're adolescents.
I don't know who's gone through that, but, it sounds like
I don't know.
Horrible.
Slow learners.
All right, you guys, I'm going to reset again really quick. This will be my last time, though. So if those of you want to kind of like mass, take me down, because that's what you like to do.
Oh my God, that itch is getting worse. You should see a doctor for that.
Hello again. We'll try this one more time. Oops, that was dumb. Sometimes I'm dumb. Sometimes I do things that are not smart. Whoops. Oh. All right, hello. Hello, Gabe, you are a subscriber. I'm hoping you're not a hate subscriber. Let me know. I am looking for people who don't think kids can be trans. Just because this is my last round. Yeah, some people got gifted a sub. Let's hope that the people who got gifted subs actually like being here. Let's hope. All right, so Gabe, you said you're not a hater. So right now we only have friendlies in the request. Ooh, I need to reset my goal. Let's put it at 145. And then, boop, and then, shit. Thank you. I was gonna do something else. Oh, I was gonna reset my gift goal. But it reset on its own, so I guess I'm not starting anything new. It still hand hearts. The newer generations do the other heart. I don't know how do you do it? Like Gen Z heart. I don't know how to do it. I don't even know. Sometimes I'm so dumb. All right, anyway, hello everybody. Tap the screen, share. I don't even know what I'm laughing at. This is when Mel starts to get tired. She's ridiculous.
Hello?
I'm about myself in the third person. Hello. How old are you?
I'm 23.
Cool. Let kids be trans.
Yeah, trans is a mental illness.
Wow.
And
okay.
I feel bad for anyone who is not comfortable in their own skin and you feel like you need to change genders.
All right. Well, that's not what being trans is, and it's not a mental illness, so
Yeah, it is.
it's not.
It's unfortunate, but. And especially a kid, come on.
Is that all you have?
Yeah, that's pretty much all I had. It's a mental illness and you need help.
Why do I need help?
I don't know what you are. Are you a man? Are you a woman? Do you even know?
So you're just telling me I need help, and you don't even know who I am or why I need help or what I need help with.
You don't even know what you are.
No, you're the one who said I needed help. I'm asking you what I need help with.
Yeah, you don't even know what you are.
Who said I didn't know what I am?
Supporting trans and all these trans people. Yeah, you don't even know what you are. How do you know what you to support?
I think you don't know what you're talking about.
How do I not know what I'm talking about?
Because you're making all thanks, Linda. You're making all these like accusations about me, and you have no idea what you're talking about. You don't know anything about me.
Well, I know you support let kids be trans. That's obviously something wrong.
Yeah, yeah, and because the children are just naturally trans, and I think it would be shitty of you not to. So.
All right. Well, you should check yourself.
All right, we'll do that. Bye. What the fuck? You guys! All right, I'll reset again because that was very fucking fast. I was kidding when I said come back and mass report me, fuckers. Let's try this again. Hello. I was gonna switch hats, but why am I getting banned? What are you getting banned from? What you talking about? But I don't know if I can reach it because I'm short. Let me see. I'll be right back. Tap the screen, share live. Boop. I don't know what that was. I have all this weird energy. Ow, my last hit hurts. Hey. I'm so dumb. All right, anyway, hello again. Let's try this again. I think all of you, most of you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey.
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 17.
You were too young to be here, but I appreciate you being honest. You have to be 18 to go live. All right, everybody else are friendlies. We're gonna try this again. So I thought I thought these were crabs on this hat. They're not. They're fucking palm trees. Oh man, they kind of look like little crabs. So everybody, shush. I did get a random burst of energy. I seriously thought these were crabs. They're not. They're palm trees. Oh, I'm stupid. Okay. That's dangerous, Randy. It usually doesn't go well.
Howdy.
Am I married? Yeah. Hello, how old are you?
I'm 49.
Cool.
And I've been listening to your live for maybe like, this is the second time I've ever listened to it.
Okay.
And I appreciate what you're trying to do, trying to educate people
What the hell? Why?
about what you're about trans people. But I'm just wondering, are you a parent?
I am.
And are any of your kids trans?
Yep. Both.
Oh, both. Are you? I'm just wondering. I'm just trying to get educated about the whole trans thing. I have a 13-year-old, so just trying to get prepared. But how old are your kids now?
15 and 11.
So do you consider kids until 18 years old, or?
Yeah, in the context of the conversation.
Okay, and so obviously you had some sort of discussions with them about what they wanted to be or are, or
Yeah.
can you kind of explain that? Like did they approach you, or you approached them, or like let's take one of them for example. Were they born? Are they boys or girls? Like, I don't know how to.
So I have a transgender daughter, right, who was assigned male at birth. Right? She's 15. And then my other child is just non-binary.
So what how do you, isn't that a little tough? Like with school wise, like they're obviously in school, right?
Yep.
Okay. Like, so if it's gym day, like what happens? What locker room do they go into?
Well, luckily, my oldest child's high school they don't require changing for a PE, so they don't have locker rooms. And my youngest is in elementary school, so also does not have locker rooms.
Okay. No, I'm just trying to educate myself about it. So do they play sports after school or anything, or?
Nope.
No? Oh, okay.
So my oldest child, the transgender girl, does use the women's restroom or the girls' restroom at school. And my youngest was assigned female at birth. They present femininely and also use the girls' and women's restroom.
So I'm just trying to grasp this whole concept here. So when you, how do I put this? If like you have to, if you have to like go on vacation or something, and they ask like, do you have you have two children, or they boys or girls? Like, you would just say you have two girls.
I haven't actually got into that conversation yet. Usually I just say I have two kids.
Yeah, I know, but like if you have to, like for instance, if we go on cruises, like you need to like
I haven't
describe who your child is or whatever. But I mean, I just think it would be a hard thing to go through for everyone in the family.
I don't know why that would be a hard thing to go through.
Well, not hard, but just, I mean, it would be different. I'm not saying it's, hard. I meant to say probably just different, just a little harder to describe, I suppose. But
yeah, I usually just say I have two children again. I don't gender my kids when I talk about them both.
So how did you said you have a 15-year-old, how did he approach you? And
she just said she told her father and I that she's not a boy.
Like out of the blue, or did you see it coming, or like was it like how did that happen?
I did not see it coming. No,
And that was the first child that happened to?
nothing happened, but yeah.
No, I mean, well, that
Yeah.
that approached you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And does your child have friends that are transes, or is that
Trans? No,
Are you going
No.
in a specific direction here?
it does not have trans.
no? I'm
Yeah,
just trying to.
like interview.
No, I'm just trying to find out what happened. Like how
Nothing happened. Her
She
child
literally
was-
just developed that way. She developed a gender identity incongruent from her sex. That's what being transgender is.
All right. Yeah, I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm just trying to educate myself just in case, something like this happens to my home.
Can I give you a resource, actually?
Can what?
Can I give you a resource? Are you familiar with the Trevor
About what?
Project?
A resource about what?
No, about some of the questions you're asking. Are you familiar with the Trevor Project?
Am I familiar with what?
The Trevor Project.
The Trevor Project?
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
It's the nation's only unalive and crisis prevention helpline for LGBTQ plus youth. And there, if you go to the website,
No, I'm not familiar with that at all.
No problem. Yeah, go check out the website. It's on the trevorproject.org and do /resources. There's a big section. It's a whole library of information in there, but there is a document in there for parents of what to do if my kid is trans, or how to be an ally to trans youth. So it may answer some of these questions, some of the things you're looking for to, should that happen to you as a parent, to know how to best support your kid. And maybe some of the questions you have along the way could be addressed in there as well, and some additional things.
All right. Thank you very much.
Of course. No problem.
Cool.
Sorry, I got suspicious there, Barbie. We get some people that kind of go down that line and try to make a specific point, and my bad.
Yeah, no, I'm just like I'm saying, like I said, I think it must, like, obviously you guys I'm from New York, so
Me too.
I've seen everything pretty much, but I just I just, like I said, it must have been hard for me. It would have been hard, I should say, if my son told me that he didn't feel like a boy. Mm-hmm. That would be
I mean, what part of that would be hard? What part of that would be hard for you?
Well, because he was born a boy, so I'm just I grew up as a boy and a man, and it would just be very, it's like it would just be a little strange.
Look,
Strange, sure. Yeah. But it did sound like when you said that, like, it would be more about you and like how you feel about your child.
Yeah, of course. It would be about both of us, of course, but I'm just saying it would be an adjustment.
Right. Sure.
There's an adjustment, and there's understandable fear too, because of how kids are, about how trans people are treated by society, and we want the best for our kids, right? So
yeah, of course,
right,
and like sometimes, I've in my 20s, when 30s, I have a lot of friends. I still do, and being in New York, we'd go out and see a bunch of things, and a lot of kids I'm saying, actually, what I'm trying to say is a lot of trans aren't treated very well, and it would be I just, from what I've seen on the outside, it seems like a tough thing to expose yourself to.
It's not something that you expose yourself to so much as it's just something you have to deal with because you exist, or someone in your life exists that is trans. And yeah, I mean, being friends with, being a parent of a trans person can be difficult in that someone that you care about, someone that you care about is going to be mistreated by society.
I might have misspoken. What I'm trying to say is that a lot of people don't accept transes. So I'm just saying that
trans people, just an FYI.
Sorry. trans people.
Did I say something wrong? I'm sorry. I don't know.
Trans. That's
Yeah,
trans. Okay, trans people. Yeah. So I just feel like, from what I've seen, my experiences, I think they have a hard. The people give them a hard time. That's what I should say.
Yeah. That's.
And I got to tell you, actually, because, I would say about a month ago, my son and I, after I picked him up from school, we decided to go to like Starbucks, and there was this, what I thought was, and forgive me if I say anything wrong here, but what we thought was a girl behind the counter, like ringing people up. So finally we got up to the counter, and so we're about to order, and it turns out the girl was a boy. So, and she was definitely not.
So he.
Yeah, it was a he, but makeup. He had makeup. She had makeup, and her nails done, and all that stuff.
Okay, but you just said that it turns out he was a boy, right? So then just gender them correctly.
I don't know I don't know what they are.
How do you know if they were?
Well, he was definitely a boy. Like you could see.
I'm sorry. He
Yeah,
also, they, because I don't know the gender, they also may not have been trans. I am a boy who wears makeup as well. So just a person wearing.
Yeah. So I don't know what he identified himself as, but he was dressed up, in the appearance of the girl. So I felt really bad. So I ordered whatever, and then you wait for your drink. But I could hear other people, like, as they were ordering, and teenagers were walking in. I could hear them laughing and all that other stuff. I just felt bad.
Yeah. Okay, this is just advice, because you're coming in here really open and asking questions. I appreciate that. I really do. Some advice I've started doing is if you're not sure, lean towards they for non-gender specific. If you don't ask the question of, hey, what pronouns do you use, which you may not ask the person at Starbucks possibly, maybe just lean towards they, a gender neutral pronoun. It's just an easy, respectful way of doing that. And I don't think you're trying to be disrespectful. I just want to sharing some advice that things that I've done before. That's all.
Yeah, well, I mean, we didn't have to go that far. I mean, it was just, it was like, hey, what would you like? And, caramel macchiato, and my son got his drink, and then it was like, thank you, and that's it. It's kind of like if you meet a girl or a woman that has a bulging stomach, you're not going to be like, hey, are you pregnant? It's a little too personal for me. I wouldn't want someone to ask me if.
I mean, in the conversation afterwards, if you don't know who the person was, it's just an easy way of being like nice and neutral on that one. That's what I mean. Obviously, you're not going to say, hey, how many months are you, ma'am? No, of course not.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not going to walk up to someone that I don't know and be like, hey, are you?
Yep.
I don't. Are you a trans, or are you a girl trans, or boy trans? Like, I don't even know the terminology. But
that's okay. You're learning.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah. So what would you? So you said you were born as a boy, and you wouldn't that just be like a cross-dresser person?
Me? No, I'm a cisgender gay man. Wearing makeup isn't. For me, it doesn't make me trans. I was assigned male at birth. I identify as a man, so I'm cisgender. So, but I don't care about gender roles as far as like makeup or clothing, because like makeup and clothing don't have gender to them.
Wait, so what does cis mean? Cis means what you were born with?
Cis is the opposite of transgender. So it means that your sex assigned at birth and that your gender are in alignment.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that one up.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's CIS. It's not SIS, because that's what people try to say. What's this? No, it's CIS, cisgender.
Yeah, does that stand for something?
It's Adora, help me. It's the same sign as. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what?
It's a Latin prefix means on the same side as.
Oh, okay.
My
All
brain.
right, well, I don't want to take up more of your time, but I just trying to get a little bit of an education.
If I might
about this stuff.
some of the best education you can get, make sure you're following Mel, make sure you're following Adora, because they are two of the best on talking about the topic.
All right. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
It's so hard to tell if someone is trying to lead you down a shitty conversation.
Yeah, it ended up being a good conversation though.
I thought it was going that way too at first. I'm like, ooh.
All right, I'm gonna drop. Thank you for having me up.
No worries. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. All right, let's see here. I don't know. We don't have anybody left. Anybody else? No, it's not Walgreens.
It's Walmart, silly. God.
No.
Walgreens could never.
It's not Walgreens. My Walgreens Nationals.
Wow. Wow.
I have a lot of Walgreens hats, you know.
If you thought it was Walgreens, just type Walgreens in the comments real quick.
I really like Walgreens, so I have all the Walgreens hats.
Thank you, Mabry.
Walgreens is my favorite.
Let kids drive cars. Cars aren't healthcare.
It's not Walgreens.
Come on, Walgreens.
God dang.
Wait, maybe Walgreens will like sponsor you or something.
Where did Jerry go?
I don't know. Rude.
What a loser. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Hello. It's the Washington Nationals. Sammy? Hello? All right.
Go to hell.
Oh.
We're already there, but
I was
unfortunately.
just gonna say that. I'm like, oh damn, I'm already there.
Voting is not healthcare, Jonesy. I know we've never heard that one before. That was original. You should write it down and tell it at parties.
That's funny. Did you watch Tommy last night at all?
I don't remember because the nights all blur together. No, I didn't. You know what happened?
This person was there.
Which person?
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, no, I did. Change your username. How many people have to tell you this?
Hey, look, I'm not here to spread hate, but being trans and being gay are two separate things.
They are. You're correct.
That's very true. Yeah.
So I don't agree with changing a kid physically.
Well,
if they're gay, they're gay. You know, there's nothing wrong with being gay. As they grow older, once they hit the 18 mark, I mean, you can't even get a tattoo on your own until you're 18.
Tattoos aren't healthcare, genius.
Well,
my best shit.
Neither is. I don't agree with.
Why the age of 18? What is so magical about the age of 18?
What happens?
Well, I don't even think 18 is a good age. I think that their brain is still being developed.
How old? Wait, at what age is someone's brain need to develop until they realize that the name CP is a bad username? what age is that? Because I need to know when you're going to turn that age. It's the worst username possible.
Well, it's my initials, so I just use my initials.
Use anything else.
Get over it.
Use anything else. It feels like a confession, and it's just weird.
Well, what, did you block me now? No,
you're still
talking. What did I block you for?
Look, I'm not here to spread hate, and I'm not a child predator or whatever.
I was just going to block you.
I just don't agree with changing a kid's physical.
Okay. And again, what is the
mechanics?
Brain development has nothing to do with this topic.
It does when you have to make real life decisions.
Because it's not like a huge decision, right? Like being transgender is just a natural development.
Well, I think there should be stages. You be gay first, and then once you realize, once you realize that, hey, I really want to be.
How you said, you know how you just said that being gay and being trans were different things?
Remember that part? Why would you want to be gay
You
first?
can be trans and be straight.
Okay, well, I'm not really up on the whole trans thing.
Yeah,
All I know,
obviously.
We know.
I'm not.
Not
All I
about
know is
being gay
that there's
first.
surgeries involved and that it's a forever type thing. Once you go down that
Oh, it's not.
road.
That's just misinformation.
CP, let's make it real easy here. What is gender affirming care? Because you're very against kids getting care. So what is gender affirming care that you're against specifically? What's the first step of gender affirming care?
I have no idea.
Those are funny.
What's the second step of gender affirming care?
Look, I don't know gender affirming care. All I know is that you're born either a boy or a girl, and if you have girl issues, you have your period. You go have those. Look, I don't know. I just don't know about the whole
CP,
thing.
here's the thing, right? Females, that's a female thing. Females can develop into boys, right? So you can be a boy and be female at the same time.
I don't see where that works.
It does. That's what a transgender boy is, or a transgender man.
What are girl issues?
Female issues is what he was talking about.
Female issues like having a period, menopause,
Okay, let's
breast cancer.
CP. Let's talk about female issues. What is the vulva?
I know it's a woman's part. Look,
What is it?
it's I don't know. It's somewhere down there.
CP, why does a gay man,
honestly, that was a really good answer, because sometimes we get like,
but why does a gay man know what the vulva is and you don't?
I don't know.
Okay.
I worry more about what my parts are than what a woman's parts are. Now, look, if I had a daughter or something that,
man, like,
how about don't worry about anyone else's parts, right?
Yeah, great.
Cool. I'm glad we agree.
So when we're talking about children, like, that's not what we're talking about at all, right? Like, being transgender, you don't have to have any type of surgery to be transgender. So transgender and transition are different things. Transition is just some misconception that people think transgender is, and it has nothing to do with that. It literally just means that your gender identity does not align with your sex assigned at birth. So like I was saying, you can be female and a boy, or male and a girl.
So what you're saying is transgender is maybe a boy that dresses a girl?
No.
Is that what you mean by transgender?
No. Again.
So I'm not following. I mean, I'm truly interested.
Okay, a child who, you know what male is, right? Male is a sex. Right? Okay. So if a baby is assigned male at birth, it's typically because of the observation of genitalia. So a penis, right? They're like, okay, this baby's male. That child is typically assumed to be a boy, right?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
If it has male parts, yeah, it's assumed to be a male.
But even though that baby's sex is male, and the gender is assumed to be a boy.
See, I can't make I can't differentiate where you're going at there. So
Right, because being a boy and being male are different things.
See, that's where you're losing me.
A boy is a gender and male is a sex.
And being serious, I mean, it might be that it's losing you because it hasn't been your experience. Because for you,
I don't have enough experience.
For you and I both.
don't.
Yeah, well, me either. But for you and I both, we were both. I'm assuming you and I were both assigned male at birth, right?
Okay, yeah, we can go ahead and assume that.
And we're both men, right?
Okay.
So that you and I are both cisgender, which means that our sex and gender are in alignment, and it doesn't. So we may not, because they are in alignment for us, we won't know what it feels like not to have that, not to feel that. We don't know what that is, but other people know who they are, just the same way that you and I know who we are. You know what I mean?
But I think as kids, I think we really don't know who we are until we're older.
CP, how old were you when you knew that you were a boy?
When I knew that I was a male?
That you were a boy. A boy. How old? When did you know you were a boy?
I guess I knew that I would. Well, boys and girls are. I think that's where we're kind of not agreeing, because sexual preference.
And this isn't about sexual preference. When did you know you were a boy? I'm not asking what you prefer sexually.
I guess I knew I was a boy when I was, 2, 3.
Are you sure you weren't too old? You weren't old enough to know? How old? You should be 18 till you can make that decision, right?
Well, it's not a decision, right?
Right. Yes. Oh my God. Look, CP, if I could do a cartwheel, that's the moment where it would have happened. So let's pretend it happened. Yeah, 100%. Because you knew who you were, and no one had to tell you who you were. And it's the same thing for trans people. It's the exact same thing.
Okay, so let's just rewind a little bit. But sure. Growing up as a boy, you still being a boy you're still figuring things out.
Sure.
Right, and that doesn't mean that you stop figuring things out. Like, all we're talking about is gender identity. It's literally like that simple. Like, you knowing that you were a boy at, like you said, 2 to 3 years old, right?
Yeah, okay.
Or as far as you can remember, like when you were in kindergarten and they said, like, oh, boys on this side of the room and girls on this side of the room, you knew where to go, right?
Right.
Right, that's it. That's all we're talking about. So a trans kid can also know their identity.
You were lagging out, or I was lagging out, one of the two.
I think it was you. What's the last thing you heard?
Oh, it's something about going to school and you line up and you go to the boy side or the girl side.
Mm-hmm. And you would know which side to go, right?
Yeah, I mean... See, but when I was in school, it was different because there was only boys and girls.
Oh my God. How old are you?
I'm 50.
Hey, CP, guess what?
Chicken butt, what?
Me too. Oh, chicken butt. Wow, we are 50. Jesus Christ. I haven't heard that.
You know why?
Chicken thigh. Got you. Okay. Anyhow, yeah. Yeah. When I went to school in the small town that I grew up in Pennsylvania, yeah. Did I know anyone who was out as trans? Not in that school, no. Were there trans people? Absolutely. There were trans people in schools other people went to. Just because it didn't happen in our school and we didn't know them, they existed. Trans people have existed since the beginning of time. You may not have known someone who was out and trans where you were. It's quite likely. You know what I mean? People may not have felt safe being out and trans there,
Yeah, maybe not.
That was the case for sure in the small town that I grew up in, for sure. But, it doesn't mean that it didn't happen. It's just something that wasn't talked about. People didn't feel safe. People may have unalived. And that's one of the things we speaking about trans youth, why it's really important is, and the stat I'm going to give you, by the way, is all LGBTQ. It's not just trans. But in the past year, this is from the Trevor Project, in the past year, 1.8 million LGBTQ youth considered unaliving themselves in the past year.
Yeah, that's sad.
It is. And a lot of the reason for that is people who don't understand the process, which, did I give you a hard time? 100%. 100% I did. Because,
I expect it.
Yeah. And the reason I do that is, people have these ideas that are just based in disinformation, lies, bullshit, and feelings. But whenever we really break it down, look at the reasons, what's going on behind things, what's actually happening, there are real life impacts of that, and that is we are losing youth. We are losing people, and gender affirming care literally saves lives. And no one's able to just walk into a drugstore and say, hey, I want to have some hormones today. Hey, can you give me some puberty blockers? No, it's a very long process. And not everyone gets it and not even wants it, for that matter.
Yeah, see, now that's where I'm very uneducated, because when I see let kids be trans, I'm thinking of, the whole physical, taking the blockers and, and I watched the Joe Rogan podcast, and I'm sure you guys don't like it, but he said something that's very, that was very enlightening. If a kid thinks is a girl, then let it be a girl, or vice versa.
Did Joe Rogan say that? I'm not.
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Yeah. But he did. But he was against, the hormone blockers and having,
So there are reasons for that, right? There are reason for hormone blockers. Because of what the things that Bish were talking about are real, right? The self-unalive rates. So sometimes puberty will cause a trans kid extreme distress.
I can understand that. Yeah.
Right. So if a child is showing symptoms of extreme distress where they're having a difficulty functioning in daily life, sometimes, very rarely, only 2.5% of transgender or trans identifying kids actually go on puberty blockers. But if those children need that medication, they should be able to have access to it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if it's making them mentally or, or emotionally sick, I guess you'd call it. I mean, because it is.
Sure.
If it's making them to the point where they feel like that they have to do themselves bodily harm or offend themselves, yeah, I mean, then you got to look into other ways. But I think these kids are feel that way because they're not being accepted as much.
Sometimes, and that's why a lot of those kids, all they need is therapy. That's it.
Yeah, and I don't think that blockers or hormones are going to fix that part,
So again, when speaking of my kids, when puberty blockers are introduced, though, it typically is because it's actually the puberty that is causing the distress, right?
Yeah, because your hormones are going crazy, when you're
and they're
growing
not
up.
so they're not aligning with the kid's identity, though, a lot of the time, right? So if a child's brain, right, let's say if a child's brain is saying that they are a girl, right, but they're male, right, so follow me here, them growing facial hair and their voice is dropping and them getting taller causes them distress.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen until you're in your later teens, right? Like 16 to 18.
No.
No. I mean
that not when puberty starts, right? Because things start, right? You might start growing like a small mustache, right? Or your voice starts to change.
But at that point you can shave and I don't think you have to jump off the cliff yet.
Oh Jesus, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Let's not.
I mean, cross the line or whatever, I'm just saying,
but it just didn't it just didn't work. So
I apologize.
Okay. Yeah. But here's the thing. All puberty blockers do is just pause puberty. They don't actually change anything. They just pause puberty. They basically pause puberty temporarily to give the child more time to live as their identity and to access therapy.
I agree with the therapy part. I think therapy should be the first thing that you do.
Oh, it is.
Therapy is the first thing.
Yeah, that is 100%. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And for some kids, that's enough. For some kids,
some it is enough.
Yeah, for most actually.
Like I said, I have gay friends. I don't have many. I can't really think of any trans friends that I have. But then again, I'm older, so I'm. As you get older, you don't really make a whole lot of new friends.
You're doing it wrong then, CP.
What's that?
You're doing it wrong then. I make new friends all the time.
Well, I have a very busy schedule.
All right. Either way.
Well, I work and I also have a medical condition. I have cancer, so I have to.
Sorry, I hope you're okay with that. Seriously.
Yeah, I'm getting past it. So
you better kick its ass.
I'm trying.
I'll make fun of you for many things, but never that. I hope you heal very quickly from that.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, so I don't really have the opportunity to. But not saying that I wouldn't be friends with somebody that's trans.
Cool.
Can I ask you a question?
Because I accept people for who they are, and like I said,
children are people.
What's that?
Children are people.
Yeah.
What's that?
Children are people. My children, these people are very loud. Hold on.
Right, but I'm not going to go out and make friends with a 12-year-old.
We know we got that part. We got that part. Although, look, seriously,
unlike, you
The
know,
reason I say change the name,
because
honestly,
of my initials, you know,
I know.
I
Hey,
don't have child friends.
here's the thing. Ouch. If my initials were BJ, I would not use that as my username on TikTok. This is some advice. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, just because it's your initials doesn't mean it's always a good idea.
Well, my other username was Booby Burger, so I think this is better than Booby Burger.
I'm torn. I'm torn.
Honestly, I don't know which one's better. So here's the thing, again, right? When we're talking about children, we're just trying to educate that there are transgender children, and some of those children do need health care. They do need puberty blockers. They do need HRT. It's very rare, but it's medical care. It's literally medical care. Gender affirming care was already available before the vast majority of population even knew about it. Parents have already been accessing gender affirming care for a very long time for their transgender children. This isn't new.
Well, it's new to me.
Okay.
Sure.
And I'm being enlightened, and I appreciate you guys for
Sure.
helping me out a little bit, you know, try and put the pieces together. Because, you know, I do a lot of reading because I guess I'm old and I don't watch TV as much. But, you know, I've done a lot of reading on, you know, especially children, because I love kids. Not that I go and hang out with them, but of course, as being an adult, I want to protect our youth.
Right.
So, yeah, I've been trying to learn a little bit and what it's all about, because rather than sit here and say, no, it's bad, and I want to understand before I make that decision to make a judgment saying, you know, being trans is good or bad. You know, I don't think it's good or bad. I think it's just, it is what it is. You know, it's just a thing.
You know, if I could, oh shit, train of thought, it derailed. Gosh, there were words there. There were words. There were thoughts behind them. Oh, I know. I don't want to take this in a political direction because I've been on Tommy's lap with you before. But what I want you to think about seriously now realizing the implications this has on youth and you know the unaliving rate, and that unaliving rate has been going up directly. With direct impact from laws that have been introduced in the country. There have been over 500 bills in the past year introduced against LGBTQ Americans, many of them focusing on trans kids, many of them focusing on health care. So think politically when people vote, and I know people vote for multiple reasons, I'm aware of that, you know, but think that the vote that's happening right now, specifically with conservatives, is taking away health care for kids. And some of that health care means those kids can't even get therapy. We're not even talking surgeries, hormone therapy, puberty blockers. We're talking therapy is being made illegal in many states right now. So be aware, like, whenever you're hearing the things about the rhetoric that's being said and with politics right now as it relates to these issues, the impact that a vote has on saving children's lives. Just think about that.
I totally understand. And, you know, I think that might be, you know, and like you said, I don't want to get too much into politics, you know, but we can't just vote on one policy. So what we have to do is we have to educate people, you know, and maybe we could, you know, make more people understand what it's all about, you know.
Can I give you some advice for, because I like that you want to look into sources, that you want to read more information. Are you familiar with the media bias chart?
A media bias chart? Not really.
Check that out. Go, look it up on whatever search engine you use later on, and look to see things that are in the middle. Because I am leftist as fuck, and I hate CNN. People are like, oh, you watch CNN? No, I don't. I don't give a shit about CNN. I haven't watched CNN in years. Whenever I'm looking for news, I'm going to look for news that comes from like AP, Associated Press, from Reuters. Those are ones that fall right in the middle. You're going to be able to see who falls into being very, very liberal and very, very conservative, and who's actually giving you the news. Lean towards the middle, and that's going to give you the information you want for things that are, you know, as far as politics and policies. And when you're looking at things that are specifically related to LGBTQ, people that are saying, well, this happens and this happens, look for peer-reviewed studies and look for things that are on .gov, educational websites that are peer-reviewed studies. Look for that, because otherwise, if you're seeing something that's coming from a Joe Rogan, for example, even whenever he says something that might align with something liberal, I'm not going to lean to him as a source on anything. He's not going to give factual information. He's a person giving secondary, he's a secondary or tertiary
Right,
source.
it's an opinion.
Yeah, exactly. So always look for the primary source of information. That's going to get you the most honest information to be able to evaluate your thoughts for things and on issues, whether they're politics or LGBTQ or anything. Look for that kind of information to help you out.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Of course.
Well, guys, I got to go take the dog for a walk, but I appreciate the enlightenment and the information, and y'all have a wonderful night.
Wait, I got an idea for you. How about we swap your initials and make it PC? Oh, my share. Let's do it. You do that and I'll follow you right back right now. I'm saying. I'm just saying. If you were a PC and joined Tommy's Live, I would piss myself.
I might do that just to put a smile on your face.
Actually, I think that would be really funny if you did that. You would shock Tommy, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. Have a good night.
Right,
You too. Take care of yourself.
All right.
Damn.
Not the conversation I expected.
No, not even a little bit.
Right?
Not even a little bit. Like, I watched the live last night, and I know that it's not the first time that he's been in Tommy's lives, so.
Also, if you're still here, and I can't say your name because it hurts me, but if you're still here, do me a favor and look in the comments. I want you to watch the comments because I say, we have some fun in the comments, but also the comments is often where joy goes to die. But look in there and you will see people that are wishing harm to trans youth and that are cheering when we say about unalive. And that's really telling of the importance of these conversations.
Seriously. Dub, how old are you?
Hey, y'all. I'm around 30-ish.
Oh, okay. All right, hold on just a second. To the people saying in the comments saying, who's Tommy? My_dude.
DOODE. Now, you say around 30-ish. Do you mean you're almost there? I'm going to guess you're over it because once you get past sort of like, I'm not going to say higher than that anymore. Right?
I'll say I'm over. I'm 32, but rather hang on to that close to 20 more than
that's why I had a feeling you were going that
saying
direction.
over.
Yeah, because no
I should say that I'm around 40.
Yeah, no one 28 says I'm 30-ish. No one says that. I'm like, okay, that's confession. We're fine. Look, you're the youngest one here. Calm down. How are you?
I ain't got much to discuss with y'all beyond the fact that I grew up in the deep south of the U.S. And I think mainly a very important thing that a lot of people, older folks, which I've been watching this podcast now for about 30, 45 minutes, and it seems to be you're having a lot of older folks on who aren't necessarily hateful per se, just more ignorant. And the fact that they grew up in the 60s, 70s, 80s, where there was a lot of Ronald Reagan and conservative propaganda pushed out to target certain minority groups to make others feel better or to push other laws across. And one of the things I always find very funny that they bring up is that this is a new thing. Whereas we can go back to the 1800s through multiple countries, and there's books written from the point of view of someone who was born a woman and transitioned into a man, which I understand has historically can have other meanings to that based off misogynistic viewpoints and laws that were in place. But then there's also the belief in a lot of these books that cover about how they felt proud in this and transitioned because it made them feel more comfortable. And so I think there's a lot of old school research and books that you can follow that like prove that this isn't a new thing in humanity, that it's been a issue for a long period of time, or not an issue, but it's been happening for a long period of time.
I apologize. He changed his username to PC. Hold on. He really did it.
See, I like that dude. He started talking, and I was like, I gotta join this live. Like he was just so chill.
I said follow him back. I'm a man of my word. Continue. I'm so sorry I cut you off.
Oh my God! If
No,
you
you're good.
That's live. You need to tell us first
That's
because I
funny.
literally end and go watch. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, continue. Sorry. That was.
But I just think there's a lot of historical standpoints that if these people are wanting to learn and understand more, that they could historically read books written by long-time or historical transgenders. And it would just make more sense. And just the propaganda that pushes the new thing that's only affecting the youth always pisses me off as someone who has a history major and has studied it for long periods of time, which is how untrue that is. But everything changes, and we are at the first standpoint here where now we have the ability to actually do surgery and do hormones and help that transition be a lot easier and a lot more acceptable. For the person, that is, like, more relief.
Well, yeah, and just the thing is, though, is a lot of people like tonight. I don't know. It's been kind of on and off, kind of shocking, honestly. Some of the people that are taking in the information. Fuck. What was I gonna say? It's nighttime. I don't know. My phone's broken. Oh, but I mean, this information is out there, right? The history is out there. The definition of what being transgender is, how gender identity actually develops. A lot of this is not when it's ignorance and people have an open mind. It's very different than when people are being willfully ignorant, which is what I get very angry at. The conscious choice to reject information, I just don't get it. I don't get it. So. But yeah, well, thank you for coming up. Appreciate it.
Yeah. No, of course. Y'all keep on doing the good work. Keep the conversations. It's very refreshing to witness a podcast that isn't just one person being bashed or another person being bashed or
Give me
vice
time.
versa.
Give me a couple minutes.
Off
I
the
got
ads.
the next one.
We try not.
I'm a shady bitch.
I appreciate the positivity. Either way, y'all stay healthy and stay good.
You
All right, thank you. Bye. Is everybody okay tonight? Like, what is this? People are in like a good mood. Hello. Oh, was that you, Vish?
Hello.
Oh, hello. How old are you?
18.
What year were you born?
2005.
Cool.
Well, real quick, I just want to say there's two genders and everything else is mental illness.
Okay, cool. I want to say you waited in all the live all that time. No, he was talking trash in the comments. I knew it was going to go that way. I was ready.
I keep getting this cough lately. I don't know what's going on.
There's a little child that I saw in the comments. Like, yeah, you're not 18, but here we are. Oh my God, I dressed as Snooki for Halloween one year. What's up, Snooki? How old are you?
Oh, that's hilarious. Hello? Was that accidental?
Although it was a very specific costume, I was Snooki on the cover of the National Enquirer the year she got punched in the face. I was a magazine cover with, I went full force. I don't play with costumes, I don't go halfway. This should be blocked. Well, I can take care of you, Treb. Shh.
You could block it yourself, but you just wanted to complain, obviously.
Yeah. I'm muted. That way you can still listen, but can't say anything.
Yeah, I'll do my Pride Labs like last year where I had
Facts. God created girl and doy. Girl and doy. Screenshot and that shit. That's classic.
I love when they try to get us on something and they fuck it up. It's
Who
always
doesn't love a girl and a doy?
we can keep goal. And then a lot of people if you sent me a message about the horrendous Horrendous.
Wow, who's that word?
Thank you. The horrendous live earlier. I did. I got lots of messages about that, so I appreciate you guys. I don't know.
Yeah, thank you all for letting Mel know about the horror and this live.
Oh God, that's not what I meant to say.
You put the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Oh my goodness. All right, we are out of opposition requests. I'm probably going to end soon. Oh, here we go. Here's a couple more.
Oh, yay.
Yo, hello guys.
Hi, I am getting tired, which is why I'm being giggly. How old are you?
I'm 23.
How old did you say you were?
23.
23?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let kids be trans. I mean, I think you guys should go to prison for this, honestly. I think you guys should go for prison for this. I think you guys...
What? We should be what? Can you finish your sentence? What should we be? That's weird. I can't hear you.
We should be,
Papa, can you hear me? How do you have 10 followers in another country? Why not let them speak?
Let him speak.
Why? People aren't entitled to a platform, you know what I mean? Like, maybe not everyone has to talk or be able to have the ability to comment. Oh my God, that's gotta hurt.
Especially when they start, like, by insulting us. Like, why do we want to hear that?
I don't have an actual conversation. I'll have an actual conversation, but I'm not babysitting honey.
Thank you for helping me meet the goal. Appreciate you guys. All right, well, maybe I'll just end. We have nobody else. Anybody else? I think you can get followers and then delete them. You just got my live notification.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Well, thank you,
TikTok. What the
Sally.
hell? Let's see.
Hi, Mel. Hi, Bish.
Hey, what's up?
I freaking love you guys. I know you're ending. You're like anybody else, so I'm like, I'm gonna be a little shithead and add myself. But like, I can't even believe the shit you put up with every day. I don't care if people are so mean. You are assertive for a good reason, okay, Mel? And I love you, and fuck those guys, okay?
Aw, Jesse, appreciate it.
Oh,
Have a good night.
Jesse,
Love you all very
love you,
much.
God.
And I will always stand with you, and I will always tell these fuckers off.
Jesse, you need to be really realistic. No one's gonna fuck those guys. Like,
No one is, you're right. We all choose the bear.
Real.
choice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
What kind of a weird comment was that?
Which one?
You know what? I don't know. They just said. Maybe they just wrote it wrong.
Maybe. I think I've seen the same one, possibly.
Yeah, maybe because it didn't make sense, but maybe they meant it a different way. Oh, I was gonna end, but fuck. Now I gotta see what this is.
What are you gonna say?
Oh.
Just say g'day, g'day.
G'day, g'day.
From Australia?
Yeah, from Australia. Over here, we only think there's two genders, really.
Oh, wow, I'm gonna hear this.
You know? Well, when I was a kid, I was eating dirt. I wasn't fucking worrying about.
Oh, well. I'm sorry. It must be that Outback Wi-Fi.
Host is like 45. Okay, close-ish.
Wow.
Am I supposed to be insulted by that or something?
I think the name Fragile Kid is the most accurate name you could possibly have, you little snowflake. What's up, Fragile?
Yo, what's good?
How old are you?
I'm 20.
What year were you born?
2003. Not really like that's any of your business, but yeah.
Oh, an attitude. Trust me, mine's better, but I appreciate the effort.
Yeah, bro, because protect the kids, bro. Protect the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they don't need to.
That's why we have gender affirming care, because it protects the kids. Absolutely.
That ain't no care.
What is gender affirming care?
That's a demon slayer.
What's
that's
the first? No, that's Buffy.
That's a rotten
vampire
care.
slayer.
What? Talking about you over here advocating for kids to get their balls chopped.
No, we're not.
Nope, just you. Just you.
Okay, that was something.
So Buffy the Vampire Slayer made it into a trans debate. Who knew?
Oh, well, I don't know why I felt the need to listen to that one. All right, let's go. Let's see. My hair is shiny because of the fucking conditioner that hair dye comes with. And it literally doesn't matter. Like, I don't know what it is. When I dye my hair and then I do the conditioner for 5 minutes, it always looks really good. And then I can use the conditioner again for 5 minutes, like in a couple days, and it will not look like this. Like, it's literally just the one day that I dye my hair that my hair looks this good.
You better get the ring light, do all the pictures tonight.
I don't know why. Like, I can't do it again. Every 6 weeks or 6 to 8 weeks, my hair looks good. I don't know.
That's right. Actually, lady's right. Olaplex. Olaplex gives a shine. Yep.
Oh.
Also, I use something by BB. I think is it BB Coast? I use like a hair oil. Use like half of a pump will like do your entire head. Just a little touch of it, and it gives a nice sheen to it.
Stuff that like helps, and I have like serum and stuff, but it does not look this good. Like
Right.
it looks good. Like, I wouldn't say my hair looks bad all the time. It just doesn't look as good as the day that I dye my hair.
Hair always looks best the day it's first done. It just does. That's why I had my stylist go with us to the wedding. Well, we're also friends, but she literally put more color in my hair like 3 hours before I got ready.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was extra bold.
Yeah. I don't know. My roots were getting light. Cause like I said, I have gray hair, but then also my natural hair color is lighter. So it's like really obvious when I get roots.
Natural hair color.
I could go like get it professionally done where it would blend in better when it grows, but I am not good at that. Like, I am really bad at like going to get things done regularly like that. So I know it would just grow out anyway. And then this is literally why I have not gotten my hair cut. Remember that one time I got my hair cut in like August or something when I got it cut short? So last time I had my hair cut. Like, I just don't do things regularly.
Mel says, why do they kick everyone that disagrees? It's also a debate live. Mel, let me correct you. It's not a debate live. It's a conversation live. And we do kick everyone that doesn't agree. It's not disagreeing. It's people being hateful and little dicks. When people say stupid things, they aren't entitled to stay on the platform. We don't owe anyone that.
Literally talk to people who disagree all the time.
Yeah.
Depends on if they're willing to have like an actual adult conversation or just be, like you said, dicks. Yeah, and somebody asked me what type of hair dye I use. It's Simply Color.
Oh, what makes that one?
It's box dye. It is like cheap, and I love it.
Oh, I've not seen that before. That's cool.
Yeah. See, it doesn't look as red, but this is it. I also like their espresso is a good color too. I've been doing this red one for the last like 3 or 4 times I think I dyed it. It looks way more red outside here. I took a picture earlier. I can show you guys. And then yeah, because this is the cherry chocolate, but it does really good with gray coverage. Like, so, and it's like $12.
I've told you I can't do red hair, right? I told you that story.
Oh, I don't know. Did you? Did you?
My husband, well, years ago, he wasn't my husband then, but my husband got me we were at a charity auction, at a charity event, and for the auction, he got a haircut and style with a celebrity hairstylist. And so he's like, look, I'm never going to use that. He's like, why don't you just take it and do it? At the time, my hair was burgundy. And I went in there to the salon and I got in the chair. I'm like waiting for the moment this celebrity hairstylist comes back. He comes back, spins me around the chair and goes, and gasps and says, sweetie, whoever told you that red looks good on you is not your friend.
Oh, no.
I've never had red hair since. Oh, look at that picture. Yes.
This was earlier when I went outside.
Gorgeous. Come on, daylight. Yes.
The sun was, I mean, it helped, right? But,
Someone's asking, where's your Walgreens hat?
behind me, let's see, and I did, this one. See, I mean, it's kind of, you can see like a little bit, but this was in the shade.
Yeah, that really makes your eyes pop even more.
But like right here, it looks really light, and it's not. It's just the lighting.
It's the way the light hits it. Yep, totally.
That's me. I took this one.
Ooh, look at that. Wow. I'm sorry, I have to mute Randy for 5 seconds. Yeah, Randy said, Mel, you're so pretty, but didn't compliment me. So mute Randy and block.
So you can see with the sun behind it, like it definitely looks red.
Wait, speaking of beautiful, hey, hot dog. How are you, Gorge?
I took a really pretty like desert picture too. I'll show you guys. Here we
Ooh.
go.
So nice.
I don't know what this plant is, but it was pretty.
Is that one of your trash bins?
Where? Oh, talking. I was looking at the picture. So we went outside. It's funny. So I went. Those pictures I took when I went out and brought my trash bins down, and we walked to Nacho, and my daughter was like, "Oh, you should take a picture of you with the trash bins." And like, the trash bins were like behind me, but then she was there too, and I'm like, "What do you mean?"
What did she say about that?
She just laughed. She thought it was funny. So
I'm doing good, hot dog. Doing well.
I don't know if I don't want anything else. Something.
I think I might go for a night drive tonight. I'm awake. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. So I only saw a bit of Tommy's Live last night because I did something crazy that never happens. I fell asleep at 10:30. When do I ever do that? But then I was wide awake at 4 a.m. and I went to watch the finale of The Circle. So
I fell asleep listening to Tommy's Live. I think that was last night.
they all blur together. I was on Tommy's, Carbon's, yours. Okay, Randy, fine. We're friends again. Randy said, I didn't mention you because words can't express my beauty. That's correct. That just feels right.
Okay, bye. That is funny, actually.
Now we're going to make you a moderator. I'm joking. I don't have that power. I love that picture. Yes. It's so good.
I know. It looked really good. It's the sun was setting. There you go. All right. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you, Bish. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the subs, the love, the gifts, the likes, the shares. You know how it goes. The support is always appreciated. And let's see. Maybe just raid Tommy. Maybe PJ. Wait, what is his name?
PC?
PC.
PJ is going to bed. I can't believe he did that. I can't fucking believe it.
Oh my gosh.
I have to message Tommy, let him know. That's wild.
Tommy has a lot of views right now too, so he might have some interesting conversations going on. It was 1,400 viewers, so go raid Tommy, Mel raid, my underscore DOODE. I think he is on his main. Yeah, he is.
Perfect. Everyone, have a great night. Mel, thank you, love.
Thank you. Have fun on your drive. I'm gonna get ready for bed. It's my underscore DOODE. It's dude, but spelled different.
Here, I'll type it real fast. There, that.
He does political lives, but also like he co-hosts with Jaden, or Jaden co-hosts with him a lot, and Jaden's been in here before. You may have seen him, the voice actor Jaden. And yeah, and they're pretty entertaining, even if you don't like political lives.
So good.
Yeah.
And you also learn a lot because both Tommy and Jaden are very, very, very intelligent. They're snarky as fuck, which is why I love them.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to learn. You're going to learn. You can't not.
It's true.
All right. Bye, beautiful humans.
Bye. That's me. All right. See you guys.